had to go to work today. I should have been able to leave
Spanish minor. No matter how many Spanish. I'll bring it around here. Just so you guys know. Oh, wait.
I had to go to work today. I should have been able to leave
January. Spanish minor. No matter how you speak Spanish. I'll bring it around here. Just so you guys walk Oh, wait.
Welcome back to Beery Good Entertainment, everybody. This is episode 71, recorded on November 2nd, 2019. This is our British entertainment show, and today we will be talking about the Bay. Oh, I am here with my special friend, Lola. Lola, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I've got a new beer. I don't think I've ever had this one before, and it's a good brand, so I'm gonna be feeling pretty good.
Cool. So, I really super. The Bay is actually a 2019 murder mystery type, and I really enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it?
I did, but you know what I'll enjoy even better?
What?
Opening my beer first.
Oh, go ahead. I was just going to introduce that and then go back into it.
Okay. I was like, we skipped the most important
No,
part.
we didn't actually skip it. I'm
okay.
turning.
Okay.
I'm going back and forth.
Okay. I did like it. It's I don't like it as much as say Broadchurch, which is the seminal British detective mystery to me, but it is pretty good.
Sweet. And with our spectacular, lovely murder mystery discussion, I'm sure that we have some lovely beer to drink.
Well, now that you say it, actually, my beer is wholly inappropriate considering the marital troubles that the couple have. You want me to show you my beer?
Yes, please.
Okay. Evil Twin, one of the best brewers, because it's like a gypsy brewing thing. One of the best in the world. I've already forgotten the name of it. Imperial Wedding Cake Break.
Oh, have you opened it yet?
Not yet. I was waiting.
Oh, yep.
So
I love the hot pink font.
Isn't it neat? It's very like in your face. And of course, the story of Evil Twin Brewery. This is the twin of Mikkeller, and Mikkeller, however you say it. He has his own brand in Europe, and Evil Twin Brewing, I guess they just didn't get along, and he started his own gypsy brewing here in the U.S. I believe it's in the U.S. and very good though. Mikkeller's good too. I can't read it because my contacts aren't very good and it's kind of dark, but I think there's coffee, vanilla, something, and it's like 11% ABV. Something.
Evil Twin, Imperial Wedding Cake Break, and 11.5%.
God, I'm gonna die.
Porter, Imperial Porter.
Double. I love porters.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, love porters. And Imperial, means it's going to be heavy.
Yeah,
the, o-
11.5% it is.
the only thing I regret is since it's a can, it's like a bomber in a can. I can't stop it up. Normally I would stop up. Like if I had something this size, I would stop it up. I would try very hard to make myself stop it up and go to something lighter. I don't really have the capacities to stop up a can.
Oh, I guess you really. Although I've seen some that you might be able to wedge like a wine thing in there.
Yeah.
But most of them are too they're not round.
They're not the
right
shape. Now I do have my growlers. I wonder if I could put a growler in it. I don't know if
you could put it in a growler.
Yeah, that's what I tried to say.
Growler, yeah, you could do that if you wanted to.
I might try that because I don't need to be drinking this whole thing tonight. Because we're supposed to go to Fernandina tomorrow and see my mama's burial site. I haven't seen it since we got the headstone.
Oh.
And we're supposed to go. Even just I spilled a little bit, and it's like the color of cough syrup. Just spilling it a little bit.
Oh.
Wow. Okay, and I've got this glass. It just came to me in the mail. It just showed up, and I was like, awesome.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lola. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you so much. I love it. It's gorgeous. It really looks like an old Stein. And I need some Oktoberfest for this. I had Oktoberfest, MIA Oktoberfest at Mellow Mushroom where we went for my birthday. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I love Oktoberfest beers.
Oktoberfest. To me, Oktoberfest is just the simplest but still best kind of beer. Yep. It's not overly ornate or anything, but it's not plain like a wheat beer to me. You know, I love Oktoberfest. Okay. Oh my God, that's dark. Can you see it?
Wow, that is dark.
I just spilled some. That is very dark. That's like black coal dark. Light isn't even escaping that. All right, I'm not going to pour the whole thing. I'm just pouring this much. Of course, you know I'll drink this. I'm like, I want more. I want more.
I love the head on that thing. The head on
it smells really good. I kind of get the wedding cake. It's you know, it smells like icing. And of course the porter.
God, icing.
It smells like I still got some of my birthday cake in there. I'm trying to be good. I ate 2 pieces so far. It's probably dried up by now. But yeah, I get the porter. I get a little bit of coffee. Can't remember what else is supposed to be here. Vanilla is probably the icing type smell I get. That's vanilla.
Like a sugary.
Yeah. Sugary cream type smell. It's really good. It definitely smells like a vanilla porter, which is awesome. It smells like a really good.
Nice.
Oh, this is good. This is up there with some of the best I've had.
Oh, you're making me drool.
I know. It's still got a kick. You know, it's still got a because it's a porter, which isn't as heavy as a stout, but it's still got some up in it, especially with the coffee in it. But it's got the notes of vanilla above it, just enough that you're like, I want some birthday cake. This is really good. It's not sugary sweet. It's not like so wedding cake-ish that you're like, it's definitely got a kick. The undertones are the porter kick type thing.
Hi, Jill.
Hey,
Jill from Linux Gamecast is watching us. It's nice to see you today.
Thank you for
I'm
joining
glad.
us,
Did you? How thick is it? Is it like chewing on birthday cake or?
Not really, because it's a porter, and I think a porter is just being thinner. It is kind of thin, but not weak. So it's not meaty like some beers would be, but it's not meek either. It's not thin. It's not watery. It's robust, but not. You know, you don't feel like you're chewing it. So it's kind of that sweet spot, actually. Excellent. And it makes me feel like maybe the calories aren't so bad. Maybe I can drink the whole thing. I don't know.
And I really think it is an appropriate, I think it's very appropriate for this discussion because I think our characters totally need that beer.
They need to chill the F out.
I think the I think the dad needs it, like totally needs to like sit down
He
and
doesn't
have a
deserve
beer
it,
with
though.
his wife.
The dad doesn't deserve it. The dad's a
He's a
piece of shit. He is. He's a piece of shit. So is the uncle. The only decent guy, I think, is Sam and Nick. Nick, poor guy. He has challenges.
Well, I went
Go
today.
with yours. Let's see
I
what
went
you got.
today and I spent some money.
Oh yeah.
Today was dun, 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 release day for Block
Yay!
15.
They finally released you from jail? No, I'm just kidding.
They released me from beer jail.
I know. You were able to buy some more. Well, it's the first of the month.
I got some of the first bottles off the line. In fact, I had to wait a half an hour because they hadn't finished bottling.
Whoa, you were there bright and early, huh?
So I
That
got
is awesome.
figgy pudding.
Oh, wow, that looks awesome. I love figgy pudding.
We get figgy pudding every year, and unfortunately, this is the last year we're going to be able to get it because it's a local beer.
And you won't be local
It
anymore.
won't be local anymore.
Yeah.
This
So
is
you don't.
this is an old ale, and it has lovely raisin, prune flavors. Like Thanksgiving flavors to it, New Year flavors to
Now,
it.
guess what I'm going to ask? Will you save me some figgy pudding? Save me some figgy pudding. I don't know when I'll get to Oregon. I'm sure it'll be flat and bad by the time I make it to Oregon.
If I could buy another bottle, man, I recommend everybody go and get figgy pudding. It's totally worth letting it sit in your cupboard for a year.
Nice.
This one is a new one to me, although it's not a new one for them to make, but it's the first time I've ever had it. This is a double chocolate porter.
Oh,
It's called
nice.
Imagine.
Pretty bottle, very elegant.
It is, and I tried this while I was at Block 15 this morning. Have you ever eaten spoonfuls of ganache icing?
No, I haven't.
It's a super dark, super rich type of chocolate icing.
Ooh, nice. I love chocolate icing.
This is just like pouring ganache right into your pie hole.
I would just be like,
and it's ganache is usually poured on top of the cake. It's lovely when it's warm. It's warm, rich, dark chocolate.
Did you ever watch Vicar of Dibley?
Yes.
It's one of my favorite shows. Did you see the one where there's a chocolate fountain and she just puts her head in the chocolate fountain? You just reminded me of that. And she's covered in chocolate. That's like my dream.
This isn't the last thing I bought, but it's something I will probably have in the next couple of weeks. This is another chocolate. This is a chocolate porter.
Mr. Dark Matter.
Dark Matter, and I bought this because of our friend, Mr. Dark Matter.
That's where he's been. He's been being made into beer. No wonder he can't make it to the shows. I'm just. I texted him last weekend. He texted me like 2 lines. I'm fine. Work's kicking my butt. Apparently his family doesn't see him either, so we shouldn't feel too bad.
Well, he's been Comcasted. He's been dragged into the system, and they won't release him.
Yeah, no, I think it's like Scientology. You know how they say there's the inner core, and once you get there, you're sucked up. And I think he made the inner core of Comcast.
Well, the beer I'm actually drinking in an actual, I don't know if you can actually see the logo or not.
Oh, it's Block 15. I see it. It looks like a stamp. I like how they do
this
that.
This is one of the original Block 15 glasses. We got it when they very first opened. And,
okay.
This is Bella Soul. It is a sunflower beer.
With sunflowers? Like sunflower grinds or juice?
Sunflower petals.
Oh, I never thought of
it. Okay, so there's Block 15 summer intern Alonzo.
Hey, Alonzo.
Hand-picked 7 pounds. Now imagine how light a sunflower petal is. He picked
Very
enough
light.
sunflower petals to put in this beer to make 7 pounds.
Of course, they're not counting the hours he was spent going. Dang it,
Now,
got away.
what is really amazing is the beer smells like sunshine.
Oh, nice.
And anybody who
Puppies.
has ever tasted sunflower seeds,
Oh, I
totally-
have. Yeah, I have.
It's in there. It tastes
Okay.
like sunflowers.
Cool. I love sunflower seeds. The only reason I don't eat them more often is because they're so small, they get stuck in my teeth.
Yeah.
So
This is a much better way to have sunflowers.
that might be good.
It
So I
smells-
mean,
it smells and it tastes like summer, like the last
Oh.
bit of summer that you could grab on a warm day.
oh, like you're running through the field, you have your
Yeah.
sundress on, and you're 12 years old, and your hair's all over the place. And I'm actually describing a song called
Dun,
11.
dun, 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 dun.
There's a band called Two Nice Girls who I love. They're from the 90s, and they did a song called 11, and it talks about that.
Mhm.
So,
I love beers that taste like seasons, and this totally
Yeah.
tastes like the last bit of summer. I don't know how much Block 15 has left. If you like, if you're anywhere near Corvallis, Oregon, come get some of this, and come get some of those bottles before they're gone.
Now, what's the base beer for that? What kind of beer is it?
This is just an American Pale Ale, a
Okay.
plain American Pale Ale.
Okay.
It tastes a little like herbs, but mostly like sunflower seeds.
Nice. I
and-
like it.
A very delicate bitterness. Very
Okay.
delicate.
Yeah,
Very
you don't want to
drinkable.
upset the sunflower seeds. Yeah, you don't want a whole lot of hop bitterness.
Very drinkable and only 6.5%.
In fact, I would think they would want to use like citra hops or something like that. Does it say what kind of hops they use?
It does not, and they wouldn't tell me.
Yeah. I hate when people get proprietary like that. It's like, come on, you want to know what you're drinking. I'm thinking either herbal hops or probably herbal hops, don't you think?
I
Or
think an
herbal?
herbal hop, something very downplayed.
Which is something I can drink. I can't do bitter hops. I can do citra and I can do herbal hops.
I'd say
That's
an herbal.
how-
I'd say a low amount of herbal hops.
Cool. Okay, that's my kind of grind.
And I got a whole gallon of it. Now I do have to share with our
The
producer,
producer. Yeah.
which is only fair.
That's
But it's really
a half a
delicious.
gallon. I think a half a gallon is a fair amount. What is that compared to this? I think this is probably 16 ounces. How much?
Yeah. How much? 128 ounces to a gallon.
So you got 64 ounces for yourself.
And I
So-
made a really awesome dinner of curry, big thick
Mm.
curry, big chunks of vegetables, and
Oh, that sounds awesome.
just a tiny little bite of spice in there. And
Now with something like that, I would probably do like a coconut curry, maybe.
oh yeah, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
I didn't have any more coconut. I used the
Yeah.
last of the coconut last week. Since we're moving, I got to
I
use up
know.
like all the last bits of stuff.
I'm the same way. The week or 2 weeks before I move, I only use what I have,
Yeah.
and I try to get rid of what I don't want.
Our producer says sharing is caring, except when I have to share.
Oh, wait, is he an only child? He isn't, is he?
No,
He's acting like
got
an only
siblings.
child.
He's acting like an only child.
I know, because I'm an only child, and I know how I act.
I should restrict him a little more.
Yeah. He needs to be generous. See, I don't have anyone to share my beer with. I'm the only one here who likes beer.
Maybe I need to be a little more Ferengi.
Oh, like it's Latium. What was it?
Latinum. It's
Latinum. Yeah. Do it. My Latinum. My beer.
2 beers for me, 1 beer for you.
I wore my Star Trek skirt. Thursday we had a party at work. My birthday. Thursday we had a party at work, and I wore my Star Trek skirt. It's blue because I'm a science officer. but I don't really have a shirt. So I turned a blue t-shirt inside out so you didn't see the Hogwarts or whatever I had on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I found a like draw type picture of the trans what am I trying to say? Transponder, whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I printed it out and I colored it with a yellow Sharpie, and I taped it on.
Aww.
And I had my blue lipstick, so
cool.
Yeah, that was me. That was my. I've got pictures. Clint took pictures. I'll have to post them at some point.
Well, another good thing that goes with beer, and something we have to have beer before we ever look at, is the news.
Yeah, we got tons of news.
The big, fat, huge, oxen, white elephant monstrosity cement goat in the road.
Yeah,
is the news about Founders.
Founders
is in a racial discrimination. Well, was in a racial discrimination lawsuit. All week I've been watching this story.
Yeah.
All week I've been watching. Founders has been slapped with a lawsuit, and apparently it happened back in July.
Yeah.
But only part of it got leaked.
Yeah.
And it's about Tracy Evans, who states that there was so much racial discrimination. There were people calling him the N-word. There were printers that were
messed up.
were labeled differently. White guy printer and black guy printer.
Is this the 1960s? It's not. It wasn't even appropriate in the 60s. So that is just messed up.
And then after he complained, when his supervisor was interviewed, his supervisor refused to actually say whether Tracy was black or not.
That's insane. I don't see color.
That Tracy was black.
It's like The Office. It's like Ricky Gervais' character going, I don't see color. I'm colorblind. I do not know if he's black or white. It's like, well, he knows. And you treat him like less than because he's black. That is so messed up.
Well, as this leak went on, finally, a couple of days ago, we learned that the diversity and inclusion director, I had no idea they had one. Did you?
Say that again. I'm sorry. I was reading the article.
The diversity and inclusion director, I didn't know they had one.
I didn't either. And apparently Tracy Evans didn't know it either. Apparently the other guys.
Gracie Harkema, I really hope that I pronounced your name right, she quit, saying the Founders' only focus was doing well with the lawsuit and had repeatedly ignored her professional advice.
Well, in that case, I feel for her, because when I first read that they had a diversity and inclusivity director, I was like, wow, well, that person must suck. But, I mean, if her hands were tied, there's not a whole lot she could do, I guess.
I think they really went into save your own ass mode.
Yes, which makes it worse. At least own up that there's a problem, which they finally did after the lawsuit, partially.
Actually, no.
No?
They did not. So they did wind up settling either yesterday or today. I can't remember.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
They settled. Mm-hmm. And in the settlement, nobody of course, nobody talked about the settlement, the terms, which I don't agree with. But what made it worse was in the statement, Founder said, we agreed that nobody be viewed at fault here.
You're right. I forgot about that. I was just thinking they did admit that people use the N-word.
That is true. And almost every company on the planet will admit that some of their employees use the N-word.
That's because they can push it on the employees. We weren't aware of that. We would never condone such a thing.
No, of course they would never condone it. but it happened.
But they let it happen.
This
Thing
this
about
floors
the
me
printer.
where a lawsuit, and I can't blame Tracy Evans for settling. I can't. Because by this point, I'm pretty sure all Tracy wanted was for it to be over.
Right. And there's no um, certainty that he would win. Corporations know how to weasel out of stuff.
Founders still insists that Tracy was fired for his poor performance and not because of a racial issue. But the fact that they're not coming out and taking the consequences
Right.
of these racial issues just bugs the crap out of me.
And it's
they even had to close their Detroit tap house because
good.
of the leak.
Good. I'm glad. I hope they lost a lot of money. And I don't drink that much Founders anymore. I think I had no, I almost got a Canadian breakfast stout because I hadn't had their Canadian one, but I decided against it because there's other stuff that I think I'd like better. So I don't drink Founders really at all anymore. I can't think of the last time.
Yeah, I'm frustrated because they're becoming more prominent out here.
Yeah.
But that, man, why just take your lumps? Say
just
it happened, and this is what we're going to do.
And we're sorry.
It from happening again.
We're horrified. It'll never happen again. Especially, I mean, you can't with the N word. I mean, sometimes it's one person's word against another. You can't always know for sure what happened. But somebody labels a printer white guy printer and the other black guy printer. I mean, there's evidence of that. You know, people witness it. A lot of people witness it. I mean, that's just messed up.
But saying that nobody was at fault?
Yeah, that's nasty. That's really horrible.
Guess what? You guys were at fault. You allowed it. It happened. You allowed it to happen on your property. You're at fault. Just say we were responsible. It happened, and we're doing this to fix it.
And then the stupid supervisor. I'm reading this.
The supervisor that refused to acknowledge that his employee was black.
It's like reading a senator or congressperson who's trying to defend Trump. That's what it sounds like. I don't. What do you mean race? He said, "What do you mean?" And then the lawyer says, "Okay, well, would you agree that Barack Obama is black?" And he said, "I've never met Barack, so I can't tell you." But and when they said, "Are you aware Tracy's African American?" I'm not sure of his lineage, so I can't answer that. Jesus, Evan, you, sir, should be fired.
Yes.
Should be fired. You know what? Even if you're not sure of someone's ethnicity, how about be safe and not offend anybody?
Yeah.
How's that? Don't use any kind of racial slur.
But those were still tactics to try to. It sounded like he'd been coached to try to get out of a lawsuit.
It's like saying no comment, which actually would have sounded better because it wouldn't sound so inane.
It would have sounded better.
Stupid thing to do. It's like if Rudy Giuliani said, "What's the law?" The law is open to interpretation. I don't know. Was I breaking the law? Maybe, maybe not. It's like, yes, you were.
Yeah.
It just infuriates me. All this double talk and just word salad and double speak.
Double talk. Just take responsibility. Take responsibility if it happens, and take the hit. Okay, people are gonna hate you for a little while, but just in either case, people will forget.
Yeah.
We hate it. It's a fact of life.
Yeah.
Now you're going to be known for trying to weasel your way out of it.
I'll remember. Yeah, I tend to remember more.
Just saying, oh, Tracy, people are trying to, racially discriminate against you. That really sucks.
Mm-hmm.
We'll take care of it.
We're sorry for anyone we offended. You know, it was an error. We weren't monitoring as closely as we should have. We've learned our lesson.
Yep.
And see, maybe it's because they went mass production. You know, they're grocery store beer now. I see them in the grocery store.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
That's
maybe,
exactly where we see them.
yeah, that's why I tend not to drink them that much because I don't get a whole lot of grocery store beer.
Founders All Day IPA is now pitting itself as an everyday beer.
Yeah,
If you're going to pitch yourself as an everyday beer, you better be something that people can be proud of purchasing every day.
I know. Yeah, don't piss off the
Yeah,
majority of
don't
the
piss off
country.
your
I mean, there's
drinkers.
some good old boys who don't care, but those are few and far between, and they're getting fewer and farther between.
We have more.
Yeah.
Molson Coors is becoming Molson Coors.
And what's up with that?
I know, it's weird. So Molson Coors is restructuring. They're cutting at least 500 jobs,
Okay.
which really kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But, and this is a very unpopular opinion I'm going to express,
Uh-oh.
I think it's a good idea.
To let 500 people go?
I think it's a good idea to let 500 people go.
You would not be
because-
popular in a
No.
Christmas movie.
I would not.
You're the Grinch.
I am the Grinch.
Because at the end, everyone gets to keep their jobs and the two people fall in love. That's the way it's supposed to work. It's Christmas season
Yeah,
on Hallmark
but
and Lifetime.
But if the company falls apart after Christmas,
Yeah,
then
whatever.
everybody gets fired.
I don't know. By then the movie's wrapped and they never visit that part. I don't know.
I'm positive about this move, this restructuring
Okay.
move.
Okay.
So they're cutting the term brewing from Molson Coors Brewing. They're becoming Molson Coors Beverages.
Well, if they want to expand.
They are expanding. They're actually introducing a brand new 5% 100-calorie seltzer.
Ooh, okay.
The name is a little weird. It's called Vizzy.
How do you spell that?
V is in victory.
Uh-huh.
IZZY. Vizzy.
Busy?
Yeah, it sounds kind of
Like fizzy with a V.
yes, like fizzy with a V.
That's a silly name.
But they're jumping on that bandwagon, and they are going to concentrate on marketing some of their more popular beers, including Blue Moon.
I forgot they did Blue Moon. I actually like Blue Moon. If I'm somewhere and the place doesn't have a diverse selection of beer, if they have Blue Moon, I'll take Blue Moon.
Yeah, like sometimes TGI Fridays doesn't have a whole lot of choice.
Yeah.
And you're like, you're hemming and hawing, going, I don't want a whole, an IPA with like 3 million IBUs. I'll just take Blue Moon. I'll just take the Blue Moon. It'll be fine.
It's just a wheat ale. It's not gonna, upset your palate or anything. And they put
I
the little
am
orange in
positive.
it.
Now they're saying through 2020, their profit margin is going to be in the single digits.
Oh, that hurts.
because of the restructuring.
It costs money to restructure.
If they can make it, if they can jump on that hard seltzer bandwagon, I think by 2021 they're going to be back up into a healthy profit.
Okay.
So economically, I think this is a good decision. I hate that 500 people have to lose their jobs.
I know it does suck.
But if those 500 people can hang on, the next year they might gain those jobs back.
They might be able to hire them back. But I mean, I guess it's no different than breweries in general closing because so many breweries have been closing. Those people lose their jobs. So, it doesn't matter, I guess, if you're a small brewery or a large mainstream operation. You're not immune to having to lay people off.
Yeah, exactly.
But not the night before Christmas. Oh, wait, that was the Lifetime movie. Sorry. And they made ornaments. I'm okay.
Now, the both of us have one state that we know we're never going to move to.
Well, Utah and Minneapolis. Michigan, or Minnesota.
Minnesota. It's the very Utah. Utah is done.
But they still have 4%.
Minnesota will do. Minnesota is the last state in the union to require beer in supermarkets to be at least
That's insane.
at the maximum 3.2%.
What beer is that? What's the no alcohol beer? That's the no alcohol beer. That's a dual.
That's it. It's pretty much the non-alcoholic beer, and the market for like the under 3.2% has dried up to a trickle.
Yes, who wants that?
So essentially, they're not selling beer in supermarkets anymore. Even Utah now allows
4%.
4%, which is considered full percentage.
Oh, really? That's
sold
considered
in supermarkets.
4%. I can't even imagine what 4% is. I mean, can they sell? Hard seltzer, I guess. That's about it.
They can sell hard seltzer in Utah.
Now, can they sell like half-size cans?
I think they can sell like Budweiser and Miller and stuff like that. All those major ones. I think in Utah they can sell those.
Okay.
But in Minnesota, no, you have to go to like a liquor store in order to buy them.
Well, as I said before, I tend not to buy grocery store beer, but that's still messed up. Funnily enough, at the grocery store here, there's I can't remember the brand name now. It might be a Dogfish, but they want $29 for the 6-pack. And I'm like, aren't they fancy pants in the grocery store?
Yeah.
It might have been $39. I was like, no.
Well, our good friend Cybernaut is commenting.
What's up, Cy? Hey.
He says seltzer isn't gonna last. Beer is forever.
He is right. Beer is forever.
But do you think seltzer is just like a trend?
I've never actually had hard seltzer, so I don't know. Maybe. Well, I probably should. I'm still stuck on Cayman Jack.
I know you're still stuck on Cayman Jack. I only say that because seltzer has really helped me.
That's why I should do it. Help you lose weight.
Helped. I mean, you can sit down and you can still have like 2 or 3 at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry that you're taking in 186 calories for 12 ounces.
I know. There's one of the beer sites tells you calories.
Every time I go for a new beer, I just ask Google.
Yeah, I'm going to see for this I'm drinking because I still have about probably a third left. So let me see if
calories for. See, I don't think. I think a brewery has to be of a certain size before they have to report calories. Yeah, which I think is bad. I think they should be required to report calories.
One of them does. One of those sites, I can't remember which one it is. It's not Beer Advocate because I stopped going to them. What?
Chase says seltzer will last until we all lose the weight.
Yeah, I know, but we don't want to gain it back.
Well, if Cybernaut loses any weight, we might lose him.
I know. There's not much there. What was that website I would go to that had the calories? Oh, it wasn't Beer Advocate. Beer.
I can't say hey G because my home will answer. Imperial wedding cake break.
What was that site I used to go to?
No, there's Rate Beer.
Rate Beer. They would have calories.
Oh, here's a calorie chart. Here we go. Ooh, buddy, 345 calories for 12 ounces. Oh. And you have a bigger can, don't you?
I have like 16 ounces. I think I have like 16 ounces. I don't know what to do.
Let's see. 345 divided by 12 is 28 calorie, 2875, 28.75 times. You have a 16 ounce, right?
Yeah.
Times 16, you have 460 calories there in the whole can.
But I don't want to waste it.
Well, no,
Oh.
you don't have to waste it. Just don't drink all of it in one sitting.
I just gotta figure out how I can save it.
Hmm.
I might could plug like some paper in it or something. Plug something in
I
it.
think you should put in a growler and then you can close it up.
Yeah, I think I'll do that. I need to take my contacts out too because they're getting kind of messed up. I tell you what, can you kind of just maybe talk about if we have any other articles or something? Let me take my contacts out
Yeah, sure, go
and
ahead.
try to put this in a growler. All right, I'll be back.
Well,
Let
let's
me
see.
start that.
We have, yeah, that is true. That is true, Che. We have, we have about 2,000 calories a day to use. So the yeast eats many of the calories. Well, unfortunately, Cybernaut, with the sugars that are left, these are carb calories that we're ingesting, and that tends to settle on the gut and the gut and the butt. All those carbs tend to settle in the gut and the butt, which nobody likes. Well, let's see. I already talked about Molson Coors. How about Chill and Fill? Ooh, 2019 oyster pop-up bars. Now, I've actually seen oyster pop-up bars. When I first moved out, I saw them in New York, and then when I went back to LA, I saw oyster pop-up bars pop up in LA, and it's really wonderful because you can get fresh oysters, and it's always accompanied by really good beer, wine, sometimes liquors. Oyster pop-up bars for fall 2019 out here on the West Coast include Newport Brewing, November 7th, Pelican Brewing on November 21st, Fort George, yay, Fort George, I love Fort George, Brewing, December 5th, and Bowie Beer Company, December 19th. All of those are absolutely quality beer places, and if you jump in there out here on the West Coast, you're going to get oysters that are clean, safe, uh, and beer that is absolutely top notch. I can pretty much guarantee it. If you'd like to look at the article, it's under brewpublic.com. Chill and Fill Fall 2019 Oyster Pop Up Bars. Let's see if I can find. Haha. we're gonna lose another. Wait, Cybernaut, pop-up oyster bar scares you like discount sushi? No, their oyster pop-up bars here on the West Coast are actually really some of the safer options, because they're coming in the day that those oysters have been, usually the day that they've been harvested, because they're that fresh. If it's not the day they've been harvested, then they are still alive in shell when they're served to you. So they are absolutely safe. And one in every 100 oysters here on the West Coast is inspected and tested for dangerous bacteria. So we have another loss to our brewery operations, and sadly, it's actually in the name. Defeat River Brewery is going to cease operations and close in November 2019. It's another indication of the bubble that is popping. And Defeat, I have never been to Defeat a brewery. It's an Oregon brewery. They will close November 24th, which is very sad because they only opened in 2016. Now they're in Reedsport, Oregon. Reedsport is a tough place to be because it already has a couple of beer type places there, and that's a lot of competition for a tiny place like Reedsport. Uh, Trying to expand from that location is really difficult. God, Cyber, it is not some guy selling oysters out of his trunk.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh, good.
I still got a little bit left in here. And then I got my less calorie standby, which is La Croix and a little bit of rum and a little bit of coffee creamer.
That
So,
actually sounds really delicious.
I figure the only calories I have is from the coffee creamer and the rum because the La Croix doesn't have any calories. So,
well, I've been talking about the Defeat River Brewery in Oregon. How Reedsport is a tough place to. It's so tiny. It's a tough place to do business.
Okay.
And it's pretty much impossible to like expand out there.
Yeah.
You're kind of crushed north and
That's
south.
too bad.
With brewery that's kind of hemming you in.
Okay.
And the bubble is popping.
Yeah.
I think most of us would agree that the craft beer bubble is popping. Cybernaut says they still have a few big ones in San Diego, but little new ones are still popping up. I would say new ones if they are extremely local. If you're doing small batch local brewing for just the few, like the neighborhood around you, I'd say you're probably in pretty good company and you will last for a while. If you are looking to expand and get into the market that way, into packaging and distribution, you're at the wrong end of the line.
Yeah.
It's going to be so difficult for you now, especially with all these, like Block 15 has their own distribution now, and Deschutes is getting so big, and of course Rogue Brewery has just smashed the crap out of the market.
Even though we don't like Rogue.
Not just here in Oregon. I mean,
yeah.
If you're in California, you have Stone, Sierra Nevada, all these ones that were tiny in the 80s, and now they're monstrosity.
Well, and they started well before the bubble started. They had their foot in, decades ago. So it makes sense that they're still around.
I lived a block away from Sierra Nevada. I remember walking by, smelling all the hops when they were doing a brew day, and just, oh, that smells so good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, funnily enough,
now they're massive and they've expanded across the United States.
Well, and funnily enough, here there is a brewery I went to like 3 years ago at the beach, and I haven't been back since. I liked it. I just haven't been back. And I looked them up, and of course, Yelp said closed. And there's another brewery there. The same thing with another brewery near where I went for my birthday, Mellow Mushroom. Right there is a brewery that I actually never made it to. And I'd always meant to, but it kind of looked kind of iffy, like, is it really a brewery or do they just use that word brewery?
Yeah.
So I never really made a push to go, but when we went by it the other day, there's another brewery there. So yeah, I guess you could say that breweries are opening here, but they're replacing breweries that closed.
Yeah, they're just basically buying out the operations and putting their name on the sign.
Yep.
Hoping that they can do it better than the last one.
I hope so. I mean, I hope for their sakes.
Sometimes it can. Sometimes they have something that is more interesting to the neighborhood. But they're Idaho breweries that they only expect to serve like maybe a couple of blocks around them. they're doing insanely well.
Because they're
Insanely
limited.
well. Yeah.
They have that like in Boston and New York, microbreweries.
They're teeny tiny. They're only meant for the neighborhood. And yeah, Cybernaut again is right. Even the big guys are not pushing the big brand new craft beers.
Yeah.
They're relying on a lot of they're pushing their old stuff
Uh-huh.
in order to keep going.
Yep.
It's costly to try to put out a new
I can
beer
only
and
imagine.
distribute it and hope that people will like it.
I can only imagine.
However,
People are stingy with their money nowadays.
yeah, if you have a tried and true beer, people are buying, you're going to concentrate on making sure that gets out.
Well, just like my favorite brewery, Funky Buddha. I love them, but I don't like their standbys that they put in the grocery store. They have a wheat ale, cracker wheat ale or something, and it's so pale, it's just like drinking saltines to me. I don't like that. And they have a hoppy one, which I don't like hoppy beers. So the stuff that they really mass distribute, I don't like. So if I want Funky Buddha, I have to go. Beer 30 didn't have any interesting Funky Buddha. So I guess I have to go to Total Wine if I want good Funky Buddha. But I also don't have money for good.
It's hard on beer drinkers like us who we want something brand spanking new every 2 weeks.
Yep.
But we can't afford to go over 100 miles to go get something new. We have to have like a small like Total Wine or some local place that gets those beers in. We'll be moving to Coos Bay.
Yay! Coos.
Which
in the booth.
Which does not have a home brew supply. And that's, that's like there's no Total Wine. So pretty much we'll be relying on, whatever local breweries are there and Safeway. We might find a smaller place that might be able to get new stuff in, but if you don't have a vehicle, how do you get all that new stuff in?
I know. I had to, when I went to Beer 30, I had planned to take the bus, but it would have taken 2 buses, and I didn't get ready in time.
Yeah.
So I ended up taking a Lyft. Or no, it was actually a taxi because my phone wasn't working, so I had to do it online. So I had to do an actual taxi. And we got stuck by the train, and the taxi does, no matter how long you're stuck in traffic, and the meter's still going. So it ended up being like $17 just to get a few miles. And then I asked Clint to pick me up. It's hard without a car, I know.
Yeah. I wish that we had more of an option for like mail-in services. If I could order a beer from like Austin Home Brewing Supply, like I order my brewing supplies, here I just like to order these beers as well as all my home brewing stuff. That'd be great. But it's so hard to find anybody who will deliver beer to me.
Yeah, well, like here, the grocery stores have started delivering. It just costs more money. Like with Amazon, Whole Foods delivers. And I don't think it costs that much extra. I've only done it a few times, but they have beer. It's not the exact selection you might want. But I don't know if you'll have a Whole Foods where you are.
No, there is a Natural Grocers, but I don't think there's a Whole Foods.
Yeah, and the Amazon thing only works with Whole Foods because they bought Whole Foods.
Yeah, exactly.
Whole Foods is already expensive, but they delivered. So, when you don't have a car and you really want some and you don't feel like walking to the grocery store, walking back with groceries in your hand, then you do what you do.
Yeah, luckily Safeway is just a couple blocks away from where we live, which is nice.
Good.
Which is nice. I just hope they have, like a bigger range of beers for us to choose from.
And see, that's the thing. Even you could have the same company of grocery store, like we have Publix, but depending on if they think you're in a high end area or low end area, you could get just basic crap beer or the high end stuff. And I happen to live in what they consider, sorry neighbors, to be a low end neighborhood, so we get basic beer.
Yeah.
Which sucks because we're not basic. We're special in our own ways.
Oh.
I know. Give me good beer. Even there's a liquor store in the same shopping plaza as a Publix, but they have an even worse beer selection.
Yeah.
Now they did have the Newcastle that I bought, but that's the only beer I've ever been interested in that they have. I mean, we're talking Miller, Budweiser. They have the claw stuff like you like, but other than that, they don't have anything I'd be interested in. Sucks.
Oh.
But they do have my favorite wine, so I forgive them.
Well, I think we've gone through all the news and all the depressing
beer brew closures. That's a word. Closures. Closures at 11%. Even though I only drank like 3/4 of it or 2/3 or something, it hit me.
Oh well, 11.5%. It will.
It hit me. I know. Although if I only drank 2/3, wouldn't that only be 2/3 of 11%?
No, that doesn't work like that. Doesn't work
like that.
It does not.
I bet if it was this much, I could drink it in Utah. That's much. I could drink in Utah.
But not in
That's
public.
But not
it at home, alone, with the curtains drawn and a sign up on the door, do not enter.
And that's okay too. I'll do that. You know what? If I weren't talking to you, I would probably be sitting in front of the TV with my actual birthday cake in front of me, still drinking this wedding cake beer and loving every minute of it. But I'm loving every minute of this too.
Well, our show was, I think it was definitely beer worthy.
Definitely.
The Bay is available on BritBox. It came out 2019. It's a murder mystery, and the very first season involved. Well, okay, I've only gone through episode 4.
Yeah, and I got through 20 minutes of episode 5, but I stopped when you said you were at 4. So hopefully I don't go over what you watched.
Well, twins Holly and Dylan have gone missing, and it is investigator Lisa's job to attempt to find them, which she doesn't want. She doesn't want the job.
Well, she shouldn't, because even though she doesn't bother to tell anyone she works with, she's directly sort of involved. She's inserted into it.
Yeah,
in more ways than one.
One of the first views we have of her is going out with her friends.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there's nothing wrong with getting drunk and going and having some fun.
Of course.
And then she hooks up with some guy.
Some stranger.
In an
alley.
There's still nothing wrong with that. I can't.
There's nothing legally wrong with it. We all have our ideas of what's ethically right. I happen to think that if you're a police officer, since I believe it's illegal to do things like that in the open, I think she shouldn't have done it. But that's just my idea of what's
well, I don't know.
Right.
I mean, it's I guess semi-legal if it's not, if it's an alleyway and nobody catches you at it. I guess it's
okay, Trump. It's not legal if no one catches you.
It's
legal. It's legal until someone catches me, and even then, if someone catches you, no quid pro quo. No quid pro quo. She had no quid pro quo. He did not put his quid in her quo. Actually, he did. And then he put his quid in someone else's quo immediately after, which is gross.
Okay, yeah, he goes off.
She needs to get tested.
She needs to get tested. She totally needs to get tested.
Yeah,
and
that's
it's
gross.
His kids that go missing.
And he's out having sex with multiple people in a space of an hour. Well, 2 people that we know of in the space of an hour.
Now, after the mom realized, the twins have gone missing, and now apparently this guy is not the biological father; he's the
Nope.
stepfather.
Right.
They call in the investigators. Lisa's one of the investigators, sees
Mhm.
him,
Mhm.
and my immediate thought was, "Oh, look, what a great opportunity for you to get out of this assignment you didn't
Right.
want in the first place."
Right. Recuse yourself.
Yeah, excuse me.
I
He
have
and
a
yeah,
personal
we hooked up in an
relation.
alley, and yeah, I can't do this case.
And
She
that's what
didn't.
she should have done
Yeah.
immediately. She should have said, I can't work this case. I have a personal relationship with this man. I mean, it only lasted 10 minutes and I never got his name, but hey.
Sure lasted 10 minutes. Didn't look like 10 minutes to me.
Well, at one point, remember, he was missing for an hour. And she
Okay.
said,
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
and she said, don't flatter yourself. It lasted 10 minutes.
You're right. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, 10 minutes. I don't think it would have lasted 10
I
minutes.
really don't think it would have lasted 5 minutes, unless 5 minutes was her bringing her panties down and him getting his buckle undone. That might have been 2 or 3 minutes, and then her getting her panties back up. And
have you ever known any guy to be able to whip off his pants in like more than like what, a half second? Come on.
Oh,
if it's in an alleyway, come on.
Well, he's not taking his pants off.
Yeah, you're not going for anything more than like 2 minutes back.
Yeah, he's not taking his pants off, and she didn't. She just hiked up her skirt. That's why in the notes I said, well, I don't know if it's considered public nudity because I don't think they took her clothes off. I feel like it should be illegal, public indecency or something. I don't know. Anyways, I think it was a bad idea for a police officer.
Yeah.
But that's me. I think if she had come clean the second she saw him, I don't think she would have gotten in trouble.
I think so too, but then she wouldn't have had the opportunity to actually. Obviously, everybody makes bad decisions.
We wouldn't have a show.
It did make for a good storyline.
It certainly did. And she keeps digging herself in. I laughed when she chided him for not telling the police something that was relative.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, but you didn't tell the police something. And then I thought of Trump. She would probably say, well, I am the police. And I told myself. So I did tell the police that I was involved. I told myself.
Oh my God.
I am the police. If I am the police, I can do whatever I want. So I am the police.
Now, just as much as this family that lost their twins, Lisa has a troubled family life herself.
And she doesn't even know it. She has no idea what her kids are up to.
Her two kids, her daughter is a freaking spitfire.
She's a brat.
Yeah, she is mouth. Okay, so grandma is like, who stays in the house with them.
Yeah, grandma seems pretty nice. She seems okay.
She's way too nice.
You think?
She's not supposed to be the parent. She's supposed to be grandma.
That's true. She's supposed to spoil them and stuff.
So she's like, Abby gets in trouble, and Abby is suspended. Abby's not supposed to go out in public.
But she does.
But
she goes to the school.
And Abby
and she does
grandma's just like, oh, well, you're not supposed to be out in public. And Abby's like, without a good excuse, I'm going to the library.
They just run wild. They're snot-nosed.
The son, I can't even remember what the son's name is.
I kept calling him the son. I can't remember his name either.
Dylan.
No, Dylan's the one who went missing.
Oh, Dylan's the one that went missing. I can't remember what. Okay,
there's so many kids. Sam is the sort of nice kid who tries to help Abby, the daughter. I can't remember what Lisa's son's name is.
So Lisa's son is like, he's polite to people, and everybody thinks he's
polite,
a good kid.
But he's doing stuff.
He's getting into things he can't handle, and he has nobody to tell about it because obviously he thinks his mom doesn't give a crap.
He still should tell someone. I mean, because it escalates.
Yeah.
In episode 5, it escalates. Let's put it that way.
There's a game that
Yeah.
actually happens.
Yeah, that does happen.
Where kids are dared to
Yeah.
do something and record it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, unless you
Mhm.
record it, it didn't happen. You know,
Right.
to go steal something, break into somebody's house, do something naughty.
Yeah. Illegal.
So he winds up doing this, and
Mhm.
each time it gets a little
It
worse
escalates.
until finally he says, "Okay, that's it, I'm out." But because there are now videos of it,
Mm-hmm. They blackmail them.
now they can blackmail him.
$500 or we.
500 pounds. I think it's
500 pounds. Yeah, 500 pounds or we
500
release
pounds.
this.
This goes up on the internet.
He needs to come clean. At that point, that boy should go, okay, I'm screwed. I'm gonna go to juvie, whatever their equivalent is.
Yeah.
But I need to come clean because this is just getting worse and it's never gonna end. He needs to come clean. Because I suspect that this is what happened with Dylan and Holly. I mean, it seems like they could be related.
It's very weird because it seems like so they wind up finding Holly's backpack.
Yeah.
And it's got a freaking
Wad
load
of cash
in there.
Like thousands of dollars, right?
Like
no
like
15-year-old rolls of cash.
cash.
Not innocent. They did not get that from a bank.
No.
No.
And Lisa's daughter, in her efforts to escape the house, she goes and meets this
Vincent.
Supposedly innocently, she meets up with this construction guy
who's probably in his 20s.
Yeah,
I would say probably
quite a bit older than she
you
is.
think. Yeah, he's older, and he does say at one point, "You're 15, so why don't we just be mates?" So at that point, I was like, "Okay, maybe he's okay." Oh no, he's not okay.
No, he's not, because he wants her to carry stuff to a school.
He turns her into a drug runner. She is a drug runner. Yeah, the only difference is she's not putting it up in an orifice, as far as I can tell. That's the only difference between her and some of the other drug mules. No, but yeah, she's a drug runner.
In the school. She's still supposed to take it into her school.
Right.
Now, she's suspended, but she still wants to impress this guy.
Uh-huh.
So she tries to get a friend to deliver it for her.
Yeah, she implicates Sam in this. Sam, the one nice guy besides Nick. Sam and Nick are the only nice guys. She implicates Sam, and he's like, WTF, and he still helps her.
Yeah.
As best as he can.
It's weird because Sam, so in episode 1, there is a perfect example of how bullying goes through the levels.
It does.
So Abby it's Abby.
Abby.
Abby winds up getting yelled at.
Yeah.
She turns around and yells at Sam. Sam turns around and yells at one of his other friends.
It's like everyone wants to take out their aggression on someone.
Exactly, like it just keeps going down the level.
If you're the bullied and then you're the bully.
Yes.
And you see that happening sometimes. You know, you take your aggression.
Sam seems, like he doesn't take it out on like unsuspecting victims. He took it out on somebody who could laugh it off. Which I'm pretty sure he knew his friend could laugh it off.
That's good.
He seems like an okay kind of guy.
Yeah, he is, I think.
But he did peek.
He what?
He peeked in the bag.
Oh, yeah, that she left in his locker?
Yeah, and discovered it was drugs.
Drugs.
He was handing off to this other guy.
Drugs.
And gave it back to her saying, I'm not going to help you.
And then he flushed a lot of it down the toilet, which I'm like, oh, she's so going to be on the hook for that. That's maybe not the best thing to do.
But she wasn't.
Well, he gave her
manipulative.
Yeah, she is a manipulative twat. She is a bitch. I do not like her.
She blamed it on the person she was supposed to deliver to, who had never seen her in his life.
Yeah, or well, so he says. He's kind of a twat too, though. Well, I won't say that might be episode 5, but that's what's it, Wilco with his stupid blonde hair.
I don't know much about Wilco.
We don't know. Yeah. He just looks like a schoolyard kid who sells drugs.
Yeah. He's the guy to go to if
That's exactly what he seems like. Yeah, I got this guy Wilco. He'll hook you up.
Yeah, exactly.
But now this Vincent guy has involved her, and I just can't help but wonder. He started grooming her after Dylan and Holly went missing, and we know that Holly had a wad of cash. I can't help but wonder if he was using Holly or Dylan for this purpose, and since they're no longer in the mix, he had to find someone else.
Yeah, and unfortunately, was it the end of episode 1? Dylan finally did turn up.
Yeah, Dylan is deceased.
On the beach.
Yep. And he was dumped in the bay.
Which is kind of weird. I mean, I feel like if he was part of this dare thing, did they kill him because he didn't pay?
Maybe if he was part of the game, maybe he tried to resist and they didn't like resisting, so they killed him.
And second question, could the construction guy be the same guy that's daring?
Well, that's what I wonder. Now, this game guy seems to have a lot of time, unless it's more than one person. Could be. They could just be passing the phone around. Could be more than one person.
It's possible. It's very possible.
Because, I mean, whoever this is, they have to have a lot of time to be constantly doing this. And I would imagine a construction worker wouldn't have that much time, especially if they're also, a drug dealer. Unless, I mean, have we actually seen him?
If he's dealing hard drugs, the construction angle might be a cover-up for him.
I was going to say, have we actually seen him on a job site?
We've seen him on the job site. Yeah, he took him through. Okay. So apparently she went to, down memory lane at this arcade.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
And, yeah, they're making this arcade into luxury condos.
Mm-hmm.
But, what if he's only spending a few hours a week there? And
we don't know. Well, and that's the thing. I'm being a little conspiratorial, but it could be like a Sopranos thing where that's kind of the cover. And yes, it's a legitimate business, but it's a family business and they let you off for errands here and there. It could be one of those things where they're like, wink, wink, yeah, you got errands to do, go on, get out of here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, very forgiving employer.
I had to be very afraid for Abby's brother when I think his last thing was it to go in and get a bottle of vodka?
Well, I started episode 5. I got 20 minutes into episode 5. So the most recent thing for me is different than what the most recent thing for you is. Now they got caught with the vodka too. Yeah, they got caught with the vodka. They know.
Yeah,
the mother knows.
I said all that just to steal a bottle of vodka. Who told?
Yeah, that was like the first thing, huh?
Yeah, I was like, who told him to take a bottle of vodka? I mean,
well, that was like the most, innocent thing he's done because it really has escalated. I mean, he took food from a food bank.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna let you talk about that for just a second. I'm gonna go do a beer release.
So the guy, he's getting text. He has this app he downloaded, and it keeps texting him and saying, "You ready for another one?" And so it dares him to do something illegal, steal a bottle of vodka, then steal food from a food bank, and he gets caught at the food bank, but he's wearing a hoodie and he runs off, and they probably don't see who he is. And each time he sends a video of himself doing it to prove he did it. So now the person texts back and said, ready for another, and he said, I'm out. And the person texted back and said, no, you need to send $500 or else I'll release this. And he played the video of him stealing, I think, from the food bank. So he is being blackmailed at this point. He needs to come clean. He needs to go to his mother. His mother is a police officer. He needs to come clean. I'm just saying what I said before. He needs to come clean. It's time.
He does. He absolutely does.
It's past time, but now he really needs to do it. It's getting to the point where he's going to end up in juvenile.
Yeah. Now was it the first person they suspected was the biological dad?
Well, I think they first suspected Sean. I think they arrested Sean first.
Oh yeah, you're right. The
stepfather.
The stepfather.
The hookup.
They did arrest the stepfather and then went and questioned the biological dad. And I was all, it's the biological dad, all the way until yes.
And he sounds so convincing. He's like, Sean didn't want anything to do with those kids. We were happy until Sean came around. Sean, she started doing whatever Sean said, and he took her away from me, and now I can't see the kids, and I've moved on. And I'm kind of like, I believe him.
Yeah.
Because, I'm sorry, but Sean is an F up. He really is.
Yeah.
Have you got into the part with Nick and what happened with Nick?
Yeah. Now when I saw so on they have this boat, and a lot of these guys work together on this boat.
Uh-huh.
One of the guys is learning disabled.
That's Nick.
That's Nick.
Uh-huh.
Nick works on the boat, but he is also a full-time carer
for his mother, who's in a wheelchair.
Now Nick came to leave some flowers and a card,
saying sorry.
And he was very scared, so he left it on the driveway.
Well, he got chased off, remember? Because the police officers were chasing him.
Yeah, well, he was nervous, so he left it on the driveway, and then because they were all over the place, they chased him. They scared him even more.
Yeah, and he ran, and of course you're not supposed to run from police, and then he decks Lisa.
He didn't. Yeah, he didn't.
He was scared. I know.
He was scared, unfortunately, because he'd had these incidents before, which are understandable for someone who cannot understand social
he's
norms.
Developmentally disabled. They say learning disabled, but he's more developmental.
Like normally you and I would understand, that social interaction between citizen and police officer. We understand those.
He does not. Stand, put your hands up. Yeah,
he does not. He's just scared.
He's all flight. No fight, all flight. Yeah, and he ends up acting out, and she gets
when he's cornered. He fights.
I know. And he is developmentally disabled, and I think they take that into account. But he does get arrested, but he has an alibi, and they let him go. The problem is because some assholes think if you're brought in by the police that you must be guilty, they decide to take justice in their own hands. 3 of them. Sean, the other person who works with him, Christoph, and his brother Ryan, Sean's brother Ryan. They hunt Nick down and put him and hide him away in some kind of tunnel or something.
Yeah, I saw that the episode at the end of episode 2. All you see is Sean behind the wheel of the van, and I thought for sure
I thought he was running him down.
I was like, that's it. That's the end of poor Nick.
I was pissed. I was pissed at Sean. I was so pissed at him. But he didn't run him down, but they're torturing him and holding him against his will. All kinds of illegal things, very, very illegal things, because they're stupid. I'm sorry, but these people are stupid. They think just because the police hauled him in, he must be guilty.
Yeah.
And it's stupid. It's Frankenstein, the village in Frankenstein all over again. Vernon.
Well, a lot of episode 3 was dedicated to showing Nick's involvement, because his mother literally can't get out of bed.
Right. She's
So
in a
she calls
wheelchair.
the investigator for help.
Right.
And
then
by the time somebody goes to help her, she's stuck in the bathroom naked.
and believe me, that happened with my mom. And we had to call 911. It's horrible.
It's horrifying. You're
Horrifying.
you're so vulnerable.
It is
You're
horrible.
naked, you can't get up, you can't move.
You're
There's
stuck.
strangers
Your
in your
son
house.
is missing. You can't get to the phone. You panic. You absolutely panic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
felt so bad for
I
her.
felt bad for her.
So
But I
bad
was
for her.
very impressed with is his name Med? I think his name is Med.
The
police
brand
officer.
the brand new police officer.
He's done
that
great.
Lisa didn't even want to take on. She was like,
Well,
no,
she
I
still
don't
doesn't
have-
want. She's being a
I have-
shit to him.
She is. I don't have
She's
time
being
for
a
you.
shit to him.
And yelling at him every time he makes a mistake because he's supposed to be watched.
He said that. He's supposed to be shadowing her. He's not supposed to be left alone with the family. He has not been trained enough for this. And she is completely derelict.
He says terrible things.
He makes mistakes. I mean, the things he says, it makes you cringe, but it's something that someone who wasn't trained enough would say. And he shouldn't be there alone with the family. He shouldn't be,
a whole different investigative team needed to handle this.
Yes, she should have recused herself. I will never back down from this. She should have recused herself immediately. I kind of hope that the DI finds out what happened and fires her ass. Because this could have been so much worse. I mean, think about it. She's making the judgment for herself that her part of her involvement in the situation is not relative. Yeah. So she's making that judgment for herself. And so far it's really not relative, but the point is she's making that judgment herself. That's not her judgment to make. That's like Trump saying what I
would have had to have made.
Yes, that is not up to her to make that determination. She should have come clean the second she saw him.
Yeah.
And it could have been so much worse because so far it seems like Sean had nothing to do with Dylan's murder. It seems like it. But what if it turns out he does? Yeah. And I mean, no matter, she was going to keep the secret. Even if it turned out that they couldn't account for any of that hour, she was still going to keep her secret. She was still withholding evidence from the police. And that's something that is illegal that people get arrested on. Yeah. And she's the police officer. It's just like, it's just wrong. And, it's like, I understand why she feels like that. It's just the fight or flight thing. She's fleeing. So I understand she's protecting herself. I get that, but it's still wrong.
I dink Lisa on the fact she cannot take 2 minutes for her kids.
I know.
She
just flies in and out.
2 minutes before you rush off to a scene to yell at your kids for drinking vodka.
Right. And to sit down with them and saying, look, your grandma's moving out. You can't do this. That's what, and I'm not a parent, so I don't feel quite right really, tearing into her too much. But I would hazard a guess that that's why her kids are such flaming brats, just such brazen assholes.
Because they may not feel like they want her, but they need her.
They need her. They need direction. Basically, they've been let wild. They're wild children. Wild children running around the town.
Running around free.
Exactly. Out doing all kinds of stuff till 3:00 in the morning, running drugs, breaking into liquor stores, stealing food from food banks.
And I was happy at the end of episode 3 when Sam became pissed at Abby.
Right. He
was
should
getting
have.
pissed at her. I was like, good. She needs to see somebody's angry with her for
And
her
he
actions.
needs to stay away from her. He does, because he's one of the few good kids, and he needs to stay away from her.
I'm not. I think it would be okay if he remained in a neutral. He would be available in a neutral place.
Like,
her.
if you need me, we'll go to Starbucks or whatever. We'll go to the coffee shop and
but
talk.
I'm not
but
carrying
she'll,
your drugs.
well, but
I'm not carrying your drugs. I'm not talking to your drug people. If you want to talk, we can just go out and yeah, exactly. Go out,
in
have
public.
a coffee and have a chat. But that's
But
it.
can he trust her not to slip drugs into his, I don't know if he carries a bag or something. But I mean, because he never.
Question. I don't know, because she is to that point.
Right. She put it in his locker, right?
Yeah.
She put the drugs in his locker. He had no knowledge. He gave no permission for this. He did not agree to this at all. So she's already using him. That's why I say I think he should stay away. She's abusive.
But there again, he didn't just fess up either. Why didn't he just go to he valued her friendship more than doing the quote unquote right thing. He didn't go to the principal and say, hey, you know what? This girl, she put drugs in my locker. I don't, this is not right.
Well, but my thought was when he found the drugs, because he's a guy, people tend to prescribe the bad behavior to guys before they do girls. And I thought if someone knows he has drugs in there, they're going to automatically think he did it, and he's going to get,
but her fingerprints are on that bag.
That's a good point.
If he took it directly to the authorities and say, look, this girl put this bag in my locker. I didn't ask her to do it. She's trying to set me up for this junk.
That's true.
To deliver them to such and such. That would have been, but again, he doesn't necessarily have a good relationship with authority figures because his mom's never there.
Well, no, remember, Sam is the council person's son.
Yeah, but she's not necessarily. Well, okay, I don't know that. That's a guess on my part.
No, I mean, but you said that he doesn't have the greatest relationship with his mom.
Yeah, exactly.
You're thinking of Lisa's son.
No, I'm not thinking of Lisa's son. I'm thinking of Sam. But that's.
We don't know Sam's mother.
So I really don't know Sam's parent.
we don't know Sam's mother. His mother could be dead. We don't know. We just met his father, right?
It's a difficult situation for him. I agree.
Yeah.
But it would have been more right for him to go and just hand them over to somebody.
Yeah, that would have been the purely legal thing to do. But I understand in his place, I would be scared because I know how easy it is for people just to point fingers. Actually, what I probably would have done, I think I probably would have done exactly what he did, because I could see the situation where you say, oh my God, this is in my locker. I did not put this in there. And the next thing you know, you're in the principal's office.
Yeah.
And you're the one who's being taken to juvie.
Yeah.
And even though someone else's fingerprints is on there, they may not wipe for fingerprints. They may just haul you off.
Yep.
I don't know. I kind of understand why he didn't come clean in that instance. But he did get rid of them. He gave them back to her, and he flushed them down the toilet.
Yeah. I'm glad he was angry with her. Yes. She needed that.
She needed that.
He needed that.
Yeah, she should not be.
She looked quite a bit upset finding out that Sam was very angry with her.
And see, she's such a brat. She should understand what she did was horribly wrong. It was horrible to do that to the one person who's actually your friend.
But she doesn't. The next thing we're seeing is her delivering more drugs to somebody.
She's still doing it. She's still.
So she's criminal. Craves that excitement inside, and is still doing bad things.
She wants to be a bad girl.
Yeah, she wants to be. She wants to feel that excitement, and get away with it.
God, she is a criminal in training. Although now she really is a criminal.
Yeah.
But I mean, her and Sam.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, Lisa drives me up the effing wall. Because I can't help but wonder if they kind of learned it from her. Because if she is being dishonest about her prior relationship with Sean, what other things has she been dishonest about?
Well, not only that, but do you notice when Lisa does interact with the twins' mom?
Mm-hmm.
The twins' mom keeps telling her she doesn't want them there and to get out.
Yeah.
And Lisa is so physically intimidating.
Yeah.
She gets up in her face and she's leaning against things like
She's
inches
always.
away.
Yeah.
And oh God, it made me cringe. I'm like, if somebody is but I'm an American. This is not
Yeah.
America we're dealing with.
Well-
But in America, like you tell an authority figure to GTFO, and
Mhm.
either they take you to jail or they GTFO.
They GTFO, yeah. Well, in this case, I mean, they have family liaison officers. I don't know if we have that here. If we
I don't know
don't,
either.
I wish
have
we did.
No idea how it works.
But I like that they have family liaison officers because ideally the family is never alone. The family has a point of contact. The family has someone to just kind of keep them updated on the process and help them along the way. And like Lisa offered to help fill out the paperwork for the money they might get. And so ideally, I think it's good. But the mother has no flippant idea that Lisa shagged her husband in an alleyway the same night the twins went missing. And I think if she knew that, she would have a way different attitude.
Yeah.
And you know she's going to find out.
He didn't just do her either.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it better.
The stepdad went out and did his
friend's wife.
And I got the impression he paid her.
Oh, I didn't quite get that. Oh my God, that's even worse.
Nothing was ever definitely said, but if you listen to the discussion, she definitely intimates that it was a business relationship.
Yeah, I didn't get that. That makes it even worse. I mean, thoughts about
point here. I'm going to be explicit here. A shag is a fuck.
Yeah.
A snog is a kiss.
Yeah. They were in the alleyway. She had her dress up. He had her pants unbuttoned. They went all the way. And then he left. And she had never met him before. She just saw him. She was doing karaoke and she saw him at the bar. And all he had to do was sneer at her. He wasn't even smiling. He was sneering. And she was there. Which
morally we can't.
No, I'm not judging someone for doing that. Okay, let me hold on. Let me backtrack a little bit. Personally, in my own opinion, I am judging her because she thinks so little of herself that a man is sneering at her. He wasn't smiling, he was sneering. She doesn't know him. She goes out in a freaking alleyway and just does it. Now that's me personally. I am judging her personally, but it's not illegal. So it's none of my business.
Yeah, I can't judge her morally because there are some people who at one point or another I'm going out drinking. I just feel like a quick fuck.
Yeah. Well,
they'll take anybody who just looks happy.
Okay, let's put it this way. I don't have a lot of respect for people who
I would not have a lot of respect for myself if I had done that. I can't judge her for wanting just the physical feeling of doing it in and out.
I'm not going to tell her don't do it because it's none of my business. If this were a real person.
Yeah, but I do judge the character for not fessing up about it.
Right. That is a big old-fashioned judgment, and that is illegal because she is withholding information.
And I do judge him for not fessing up about the fact that not only did he do her, he did his friend's wife
the same night,
and they had to pry that out of video and interviews and cost everybody enough time so that even I think they might have found Dylan before Dylan died.
What do you mean?
So they took so much time trying to find the truth out about where the
Oh,
stepfather had been. If they had
a red herring.
concentrated on other things instead of the
They might have
stepfather,
found Dylan alive.
maybe they had been able to save Dylan.
Right. So this whole family is their worst enemy because they're putting blockades up at every step, which is took longer to find Dylan. So yeah, you're right. They did that. And you know what? I also blame Sean for not saying he was married. Now, it's not illegal to have sex with someone who's married, but if it were me, I would be furious that I was put in that position.
Yeah, you do need to tell somebody, look, I'm married, but I'm just out for a quick shag.
And some people won't have a problem with it. It'll be okay.
Is that okay with you?
And I think that she would have backed off at that point because I think one of the things she was mad at was that he was married. So I think she would have backed off at that point.
She would have backed off. She would have gone and found some other single person to, deal with instead.
Which, in my mind, that's another reason not to have sex with strangers because you don't know what you're getting into. Not to mention all the diseases.
Yeah, that is true. If you don't know the person, then there are any number of things. If you have restrictions, you find out before it happens. I mean,
but
it's
if
not
you
wrong
just
to
meet them
have
at
a
a
quick
bar,
shag, but find out if they're married.
Yeah, find out. I mean, he could be a wanted criminal. He could be anybody. You don't know. And then, or he could be one of the drug dealers. That's what
true.
bothers.
But that may not have been important to her.
Well, and that's another strike on her personality. If that's not important, I mean,
it all depends on what she's looking for at the moment. But as you said, it obviously was important to her that he was married.
Right. So it was important to her afterwards.
Yeah. So she should have checked.
If it were me, I wouldn't have done that because you just don't know what you're getting. You can't trust that the person's being honest with you. You just met them 5 minutes ago. So that's one of the reasons why I would not do that. There's no Scout's honor when it comes to stuff like that. And plus the fact that she's a police officer. But
Jay says he remembers the night he met me outside the back of a craft brewery.
You know what? That worked out.
Of course, we'd already been married by then.
Oh, okay. Well, see, that's okay then. And if he was a drug runner, that's on you for not doing your background check.
Yeah, if that had been important to me.
Yeah,
just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, really, I'm just kidding.
I know.
Now at the end of episode 3, we see Nick dumped, and I was terrified. I was terrified. Oh my God, he's dead. Oh my God.
I thought he was dead. I couldn't tell.
Poor man, and thank goodness he was not dead. He was just super beat to crap.
Spine mangled. I was pissed because he did not deserve that. He is developmentally disabled. They even call him a vulnerable adult. That's what he is. And he did not deserve this.
Credit to that character.
Yeah.
He never gave the secret blatantly.
Right.
They tried everything.
They beat him up.
They questioned him until he was in tears in the hospital. Okay, you can't tell us anything.
You have to tell us.
He starts singing You Are My Sunshine.
Yep.
And that's when it finally occurs to Lisa, he's giving us some kind of hint because he can't tell us.
Yeah.
And she had to turn to the mother and say,
what is that?
What is that he's singing? And his mother says it's a song from this camp that he used to go to as a little kid. And finally they get it. Okay, it's this sunshine camp.
It's the breakthrough that they needed. And I don't even know if he was conscious that he was giving it away.
Yeah, he was.
He was conscious.
He looked straight at her.
Okay, like I'm
As
not
she was saying, I know you can't tell us.
Mhm.
And that's when he started singing.
Okay, so he didn't break his promise.
He didn't break his promise the whole
Okay.
time that, the whole time that Sean was physically abusing him and
Yeah.
mentally abusing him.
So wrong.
And even in the hospital when they were I can't really call it abuse, but they were still trying to manipulate him into giving up the
They were
secret.
coercing him.
He was strong enough to never break that
And that's
personal
because
code.
he's a good character.
Yeah, the personal code he had inside, and I just have so
I
much
loved
admiration for that character.
My heart broke for him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
And he was
finally
just a
did
good friend.
help the girl
Mhm.
without breaking his
Without breaking his promise. And I'm glad because, how long did she think she was going to stay there? I mean, really?
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Uh-huh.
So there are two great things I loved about the end of episode 4, and I
Yep.
hated about the end of episode 4.
Uh-huh.
One, I loved that we found out what happened to Holly.
Yep. We feel better about her now.
On the other side, God, stupid police officer, cliche crap. She runs off, no backup, doesn't tell anybody where she's going through doors where she could have been knifed or gunned down or anything. Hello, backup.
Yeah, the police officer was just talking to somebody. The mother was in the shower.
Yeah.
Why wasn't the police officer directly in front of the door?
Why? Well, why? Like, when they go to that camp, why wouldn't she? They're all over the place. Why wouldn't she just tell somebody, "Get my back. I'm going over here." No, she just looks across that big watery space. I guess it had been an arena or an amphitheater.
Yeah, I think
filled
so.
up with water.
Yeah.
Why didn't she tell somebody she was going across there? It is so cliche, and I hate that in murder mystery investigative.
Yeah.
It makes me want to smack the writers and the characters and like.
It's too cliche.
It is. It is.
Mhm.
And something should have happened to her.
Yeah.
It didn't because she found the girl.
But mystery solved.
Yeah,
Magic.
yay! But
yay, all done.
But for goodness sake, come on.
And the girl's really just been hiding out there the whole time?
It looks like it, doesn't it? She's not okay, so she's not bound up. She doesn't have she's not
just
bound
hanging
up.
out.
She's just sitting there.
She did a runner.
I don't know. Well, I don't know. It kind of looks like that. She didn't even say a word by the end of episode 4.
Yeah, we know more in episode 5.
But the police officer says, don't worry, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. But I was struck by that. Why wasn't the door locked? Why isn't she tied up?
Well, I think she did a runner. I think she was just hiding out.
And that's what all of a sudden, ding, I wonder, maybe she was doing that drug thing.
That's what I worry about.
She was, one, hiding out from the guy who told her to do it.
Yeah, Vincent.
2, she may have been hiding out from the person who killed Dylan.
Or she could be the person on the other end of the chat text.
Oh, I never thought of that.
I didn't until just now. I'm like, oh, that would be devious. Because we want to believe that she's a sweet girl. We think
she's the nightmare
she
behind
could be.
that.
Because, I mean, have they already mentioned that they found DNA under Dylan's fingernails? Have they already said that where you're at?
Yeah, and it was her.
It was hers.
It was hers.
Right. So the explanation that she gives an explanation, which is plausible, but what if it's really what it seems like? Maybe she was blackmailing him.
But how does Nick know she was there?
Well, I think he probably helped her.
find a place to stay?
Yeah, I think so.
How was
'cause he's-
she involved with? How was he involved with her? Were they all part of the same?
They were all friends. I
They
think
were
he
all
was at
part
the
of the
youth
same
house.
social group.
Yeah, because they all hung out at that youth club.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and that's why would you need a whole bunch of stuff just for a night at the youth club?
Yeah,
Oh,
we knew she was running
okay.
away. She had all her clothes in her
Okay,
bag.
so she definitely ran away. But
Right.
now we don't know. She might be behind the texts.
She might be, or she might have more to do.
She might have been trying to point that construction guy in somebody else's direction instead of her.
Maybe. I mean, or maybe she's in cahoots with the construction guy.
That's possible too.
Because so far, I mean, we're thinking of Holly as being a good girl.
It'd
Because
be nice to think of her like that.
I would like to, but I know these shows like to throw a loop, and so she could be the mastermind behind all this. Because think about it, she's safe. Usually, if someone's safe, huh?
Yeah, usually if somebody's safe, we think they're the victim.
But if sometimes if they're safe, it's because they're the perpetrator. Of course, they're safe. They're the one doing it. So it would be interesting if she turns out to be really involved.
You know what I'd be really shocked at?
Mm-hmm.
If Nick turned out to be the perpetrator.
Now that would break my heart because I truly believe that he does not have the capacity. He really doesn't seem like he does. That could be acting.
It could be. I don't think the writers have the gumption.
Yeah.
Now we know some writers, George Martin.
Yeah, exactly.
Who would easily turn Nick into the bad guy.
Right. In a heartbeat. Yeah, you're like, what? What's going on? I don't understand. Yeah. But I don't think so.
No, I don't think that's likely.
Usually these shows have a true moral center. Usually there's one character who you can count on, usually, to be the moral center. And I think in this case, that's Nick. Yeah. That makes me think even more that maybe Holly is the bad one and she was manipulating him.
Is this what we're likely to now? Is this what we're likely to expect from murder mysteries from now on to continue? Are we going to have this one moral center, this one perpetrator, this, and this morally ambiguous character, Lisa? It makes
it more interesting.
It makes for a good story. But would it disturb you to have a different storyline that just like smacked you across the face where you just knew nothing anymore? You couldn't trust anybody?
Well, a lot of them are like that. They're trending darker now.
Yeah.
Where they're all ambiguous. You can't depend on the protagonist to be decent. You can't depend on the antagonist to be bad.
Yeah.
I think we see that with Luther, which I love Luther.
Oh yeah.
But Luther, I mean, he doesn't do anything egregiously bad, I don't think, but he does straddle that line. I mean, he lets what's her name go, and she's a psycho murderer.
Yeah.
So, I think actually that's probably what started off the trend of the gritty, ambiguous gray detective.
Well, I don't know. I think actually Father Brown has.
See, I've never watched
that
I need to go and watch that. I have not started that.
Father Brown is he's supposed to be like the total moral center.
And you would hope with the word father in front of his name, but don't know.
He is morally ambiguous in his effort to get down to the truth. He will lie to people. Ooh. He will manipulate some people. He will even tamper with evidence if he feels like it in order to get to the truth.
And see, I don't like that, because even if we know as the audience that they're trying to get to the truth, in real life, most of the time, people tamper with evidence to either profit from something or to hide something.
Yeah.
So it bothers me because in real life, it's never an altruistic motive.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if I'm watching a TV show and the person is doing things the unorthodox way, but they're trying to get to the truth, they're just, going around they're using the maverick way, they're trying to get to justice, then I can kind of forgive them. But if they're just hiding and saving their own butt, like Lisa, that's when I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, Lisa seems like she'd do that, and like she just seems to forget that her kids exist. And as a well, okay, I'm still a parent. I just don't have
Yes,
kids in my house.
Yeah.
As a parent, I feel like that's just not right.
That's
You
unforgivable.
can't forget
Or
that
cast them aside.
They always exist, and if they're living in your house, you need to keep that weather eye
Yeah.
and deal with them.
And it's a little too late. I mean, I feel like she starts to try, but now they're glassy-eyed idiots, especially Abby. I mean, she's got the attitude. She's got the hoop earrings that a hamster could crawl through.
Okay.
And I mean, she's
earrings, yeah.
I hate those earrings. She's the girl. I think most people had at least one girl like that in their class who you knew they were going to juvie or things were going to go bad for them really quickly. And she's that girl.
She really just wants attention. She seriously wants attention. She just goes about it all wrong. Now, it's never too late.
Yeah.
For anybody. It's never too late. I mean, well, I guess it's too late socially if you kill somebody and go to jail forever. But
or start running drugs.
Well, you can start running drugs and then realize you really.
Well, it's not too late. I won't. Okay, let me put it this way: it's not too late for the person, but I think it's too late for the parent to become a good parent at that point.
There is a point at which you've gone beyond your ability to parent. Yes.
You effed up too bad.
Where you've ignored a child so long.
You set that personality. And I think that's where she's at. Because, I mean, I know you say that Abby just wants attention. Abby wants attention from boys. But even
Abby wants the wrong attention.
Wrong kind of attention.
But she's not given any other opportunity in order to gain the positive attention.
And I think that's on Lisa.
Yes.
And this should have happened when they were children.
Yeah.
It's too late. When they're 15, they have hormones. They're past puberty. They're already in that danger zone where things could go very wrong. They could really get mixed up with the wrong people.
Yeah.
It's too late for the parent to do anything really. It's going to be up to the kid to realize I'm in a bad place. I need to steer this around. And that doesn't always happen.
No, it doesn't always happen.
Yeah, Lisa's a sucky parent.
Yeah, she's a sucky parent.
What happened? Do we know what happened to the dad? Did he die?
I think so.
Because if he's just out there in the wind, he's a sucky parent too.
No, he's not in the wind. I think he died.
Okay.
I remember that. He died and she was left on her own.
Okay.
Which is why Grandma moved in. But
yeah.
Grandma's ready to move on.
Grandma's moving out. Grandma's moving in with boyfriend.
Honestly, those kids are old enough to start moving on themselves.
Well, yeah, they don't need a babysitter. I mean, they shouldn't. I mean, if everything had played out the way it should, they would be responsible young adults and wouldn't need a babysitter. They shouldn't need someone saying, "No, you can't do that. You shouldn't hit other children."
Yeah,
they shouldn't need that. But I mean, they're unruly. They're bad children. They're wild.
So we still don't know who killed Dylan. We know that not Abby.
Holly.
We know Holly is alive.
Yep.
We don't know why but we know she ran away.
Mm-hmm.
We know there are drugs involved.
Yep.
And significant amount of money because
Yeah.
even Holly's room, even so,
In her backpack.
if there were thousands of dollars in her backpack, what they found in her room?
No, that was in Ryan's room. They found all
Ryan's room.
That was Ryan's room. That's why they hauled him in. That was Ryan's room. And he said, remember, he said, "Oh, I don't have to pay rent, so I saved it. That's from working." Yeah, that was in Ryan's room.
Huh. Okay. I mean, that was, if not tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Definitely
rolled
thousands
up into
dollars.
rolls.
Yeah, those were in drug rolls. I mean, you might as well be scooping up cocaine with them.
They were 50 and 100-pound notes.
Yeah, just rolled up in baggies.
In thick
Like some from
rolls,
Pulp Fiction.
thick rolls. Yeah, like
yeah. It was Pulp Fiction. It was Eric, what's his name, in Pulp Fiction with his druggy robe on, and Rosanna Arquette.
Yeah.
And, those were druggy rolls.
Abby needs to get busted.
Yeah.
Abby's brother needs an opportunity to come clean.
Well, you haven't got to episode 5.
No, I haven't gotten episode 5.
It takes a turn. Yeah.
Sad.
All these bad children, just all bad children. This town is like run by bad children, except for Sam. He's the only child who seems decent.
Now, you said the actress who plays Lisa reminds you of the actress from Downton Abbey.
Yeah, the middle child. I think her name Edith or something.
I'm looking at your link. Laura Carmichael.
Yeah, she reminds me of her.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
She looks like her, and she just kind of has the same demeanor to me. Then the blonde hair and the cute face.
Yes. Yes.
They just remind me of each other. I know they're not the same person, but they just remind me of each other.
Yeah. Very cute.
Yeah.
Actually, I watched a little of Downton Abbey. I'd really like to watch more of it. I don't think I've... Did it end in 2015?
I think so. I got bored with it. I stopped watching.
I think I ended in like I watched from like 2010 to 2013.
Okay.
All those episodes, but I don't think I went further than that.
I didn't watch, I think, the last 2 seasons. And they have a movie out now. Like in the movie theater movie.
Oh,
but
really? I would watch that, not in the theater, but I'd watch it like on Amazon.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll make it at some point, or maybe to BritBox.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great. I'd watch that.
I can't remember if the Downton Abbeys are on BritBox, because I know it comes on PBS, and a lot of times the PBS shows don't seem to come on BritBox.
Well, let's see. Nope, Downton Abbey is not on BritBox.
Yeah.
Ah.
I wonder if it's on Netflix. I bet it is, because a lot of people at work watch it, and I know they don't watch regular TV. Oh, it's on Amazon Prime, according to Google. Yeah.
Is it on Prime, or is it on Prime for Sale Prime?
Good question.
There is that.
It's regular Prime, season 1 through 6, which it ended with season 6 with Prime, season 6. So yeah. Oh, original UK version. Ooh.
Ooh. We like the original version.
So I don't know. Does that mean they say the F word a lot, or I don't know what that means? Original UK version. See a lot of nudity. I don't know.
Who knows?
They're snorting cocaine off the. I don't know. I'm just being goofy now.
Actually, I think I'd like to. I maybe while I'm writing for NaNoWriMo, I'll just watch it all over again.
Okay, go for it.
After I finish The Bay.
Yeah, I want to finish. And there's a second season of The Bay.
Is there a second season up?
Yes, There's 1 through 2 up.
Fan freaking tastic,
So,
because
yeah.
it is that good. I would watch a second
It
season.
is. Yeah, I would watch the second season. I might not watch it right away because I still have other stuff I haven't finished.
Yeah. Sorry, getting my
Got your hard seltzer.
my heart seltzer, because I can't drink this all night as much as I would really
I
love
know.
to.
I
I'm gonna
put mine
stay
away.
late.
I put my good beer away, and now even my La Croix with cream and rum is gone. I don't know what to do. I'm stuck now.
I have like a sniff of whiskey left. I have a
Ooh.
tiny, tiny amount of writer's tears left.
Ooh. But you got to write before you can have that, right?
I have, so I'm very specific for the writer's tears.
Uh-huh.
I have to write 3,000 words at one time
Oh, okay.
on my current book.
Oh, you
So
made
I
it
can't
hard
do
on
for
yourself.
NaNoWriMo. I can't write 2,000 words for NaNoWriMo and go, oh, I earned my
Oh.
whiskey. No.
Oh, so you can't write the same word over and over again?
No.
The. Okay, done.
No,
Aw.
I got to do 3,000 words on
Oh,
and Champions of Floral.
well, I respect you for that. I truly respect you. You're not cheating, and that's good.
But right now I'm doing I'm doing pretty good on NaNoWriMo.
Good.
I'm keeping up. I decided to write a light literary fantasy
Neat. Okay, go for it. You
about
care to share anything?
about a woman who she's living in a city,
Uh-huh.
and her job gets overwhelming for her,
Okay.
and she reads a letter from her grandfather that essentially gives her her grandfather's farm.
Oh, okay.
She decides that, okay, I've had enough. I want to be my own boss.
Mhm.
And she moves to the farm and tries the country life.
Nice. Okay.
She's going to get a serious reality check.
Yeah, it's a lot different than what she thinks, I'm sure. It's a lot harder than you could imagine.
Going from corporate greed to the, to the country life is really a change she's going to discover. It's light. It's easy to write. It's going to be, a nice, throw it out there kind of book.
And the Hallmark movie will be available next year?
I would say it actually may make a good Hallmark movie, Lola.
Yeah, you just described, that is really a Hallmark movie, which, I'm not disparaging because I watch Hallmark and now I've started watching the Lifetime Christmas movies. God help me.
Now, do keep in mind the word fantasy.
And I'm waiting for the fantasy. Now, where does the fantasy come in?
So when she gets to this country life, and she goes and she starts meeting the people of the village.
Okay.
It's not even a town. It's a tiny little village.
Oh, it's a hamlet.
She discovers that they have this little community center.
Uh-huh.
And people tell her, it's a myth, but, apparently if you bring things to the community center that, you make or whatever from your farm, you get help.
Okay.
Supernatural kind of.
Ooh, interesting. Ooh, do they make the vegetables shiny or something?
So, here's a spoiler for you. She takes the very best of her vegetables.
Okay.
Like the first couple of the ones that she actually produces, oh my God, I actually did this, and these are the best. And she feels really stupid.
Aww.
But she does take it to the community center and leaves it there.
Mm-hmm.
3 days later, all the seeds that she'd planted had already grown into full-size plants.
I love that. That's perfect. I love that.
So this is the kind of fantasy, it's literary because it does deal with current event. It's very current. It's like 2018, 2019,
It's real world
problems.
Mm-hmm.
But she's definitely getting supernatural help.
I like that. Okay.
And it is Hallmark. I mean, there will be handsome guys.
And I say that in the most lovingly way because that's a Hallmark thing, Big city girl goes back to the country estate and she realizes that what she wanted was there after all in the handsome stable boy.
Oh, and Cybernaut got it right. Green Acres meets Bewitched.
And I loved Green Acres, and I love to be witched too. It sounds perfect to me.
There will be handsome guys and beautiful girls, and she does not have a preference.
That's okay too. Now that's un-Hallmark. Hallmark hasn't made that quite that far. I don't think Lifetime's made it quite that far either. We can only hope one day they will, but yeah, they're not there yet.
She definitely does not have a preference for
I
either.
like that.
So she could wind up romantically involved with either or all.
Maybe the lady who owns the coffee shop or something.
Yeah.
The coffee bean producer. She grows her own coffee beans. And
the blacksmith.
Yeah. And the blacksmith could be a lady.
Who is the blacksmith is he's the pretty typical big buff Jason Momoa like.
That's okay. Well, and she could have a crush on him, and it could seem like it's happening, but then she realized that she struck up such a rapport with the lady who grows the coffee beans.
Yeah.
That she realizes her heart is really with the lady who grows the coffee beans.
There's a bad boy in there.
There's always a bad boy, but that doesn't mean he's the one.
But in among there, she's still got to make this farm that she discovers is just an absolute rundown wreck. She's got to make this thing work, and she doesn't.
Got to whip it in shape.
She doesn't have a whole lot of money,
and probably not a whole lot of staff.
She's like 23, still kind of starting out on her own.
Okay. But she's probably got to do a lot of the jobs herself, I would imagine.
Yeah, she's gonna have to do a lot on herself.
And that means waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, maybe 4. I guess it depends on, does she have animals or is it just vegetables?
Oh no, she will eventually have animals. I mean, her grandfather, in order to woo her grandmother, her grandfather in the letter describes how he promised his grandmother he would build a chicken coop for her.
Okay.
In order to get her
this is so Hallmark.
agree to marry him.
This is so Hallmark. Oh my God. I love it though. I love it. Okay. Now it'd be interesting if the supernatural element had a part in that too. Maybe he built the chicken coop and a fox came in and killed the chickens. But because of the strength of his love, the supernatural element made even more chickens come or something.
Oh, made more chickens actually hatch from the eggs that have been laid the night before.
Yeah, or something like that. Because in Hallmark movies, there always has to be a disaster. Yes. It's very easily remedied.
So in among all the eaten chickens, which is kind of gross.
It is kind of gross.
She discovers all these fuzzy baby chicks.
Little baby chicks.
That had all hatched.
Exactly. And so you get the theme of life continues. Yeah. Even after death, life continues, which is a good message.
Awesome idea. I'm going to use that if that's okay.
Have at it.
That is so cute.
You want to hear about my dream last night? We got some comments?
Yes. Actually, we got a follower.
Oh.
Thank you for following ASD Woof.
That sounds like a spam.
Oh, well, it's just a name.
Oh, it said thank you for following.
Doesn't come with potatoes.
Aw, does this take place in Mississippi? No, it's Alabama. Handsome leprechaun meets merkin dog.
Actually, it actually starts off in Ireland.
Oh, is she living in Ireland?
Yeah, she's Irish. She is Irish, born and
Oh,
bred,
neat. That's perfect. Okay.
and her name is Leah.
I like that name. That's a nice name.
It's the name. It's the name of a woman that I greatly admire,
Okay.
and
Cool.
she's a wonderful mom.
Nice. Unlike Lisa in the Bay.
Yeah, I know. Nope, Leah definitely takes time for her kids.
Good. Good for Leah. Well, I had an idea for a story. I guess I won't go into it right
No, no,
now.
no. Tell me about it.
Well, okay, it was a dream. I had the most vivid dream I think I've ever had. It was so exciting in the dream. But then when I woke up, I was like, that's the premise for the TV show Grimm.
Oh, really?
Yes. I was so mad because, like, in the dream, I was like, oh, I'm going to make this a book. Oh, this is going to be so awesome. This is like the most fantastic thing ever. And then I woke up and I was like, wait, that's Grimm. So I have to tweak it a little bit so it's not Grimm.
So
But
were you thinking? So were you thinking about Grimm before you went to bed?
All right, so
Oh.
there's this show called A Million Little Things, and it's like one of those dramas that wants to rip your heart out and make you cry. And I normally hate those things. I run away from those manipulative things. But it has the guy from Grimm. It has the guy from Psych. It has Boomer from Battlestar Galactica. It even has Jason Ritter, John Ritter's son. So I have to watch it. I'm like legally bound to watch this thing, even though it's like so manipulative. But actually, it is really well filmed. I do like it. So when I was watching it, I taped it, and when I was watching it, I was like thinking, I was like, oh, the guy from Grimm had so much more to do when he was one of the leads of Grimm. Now he's part of an ensemble of like 10 people, and he just doesn't have that much to do. And I feel so bad for him. So that made me think about Grimm. And so I'm sure that's where it came from. But it was a really cool story. All right, so a dream. In the dream, I'm in this house like I have been, but then all of a sudden I walk by and there's a door where there's never been a door before. And I open the door and it opens up to another room and it's empty. And I'm so excited because I'm like, storage space. I can't believe I never noticed this room. I've got a place to put stuff. I've got more storage space. This is so exciting. So I go in there and then I notice another door. But the door is just hanging on by like these two little latches that are severely worn. So I try to open it and the door flings open and all of a sudden I'm like 100 feet in the air. And like I start to step and it's just a drop, no ledge or anything. And I can see down into a canyon and I'm like, and I felt every second of this. I mean, I felt and I was like, you know, trying to.
Terrifying.
It was terrifying and I felt it. And I was trying to hang on. These little latches were the size of like barrettes, little barrettes. Yeah. And I was trying to hold on to the latch. It was a screen door. And I was trying to hold on to the latch to keep myself from toppling over. And I'm like trying to get hold of the latch and I keep slipping on the latch and I'm like teetering over this just drop, just hundreds of feet. I can not really even see the bottom. It's like a canyon. And I'm like terrified. I'm like feeling myself go over. And then I'm like trying to get onto this latch. Finally, I get the latch and I pull the door and I tumble back and I'm like, oh my God, I'm never going to do that again. But then I open the door again and there's a nice just walkway just right there, not even a step, just a curb. And there's a beautiful like orange stucco type walkway. And I'm like walking around, well, this is neat. Okay. Then all of a sudden I'm in another room, but this room is huge and it has all these old like artifacts and books. I mean, it looks like the oldest antique store, all this stuff. And I'm like reading like all this stuff, like this history of old Germany with this secret society. And I'm trying to figure out what the secret society is. And I'm getting freaked out. I'm like, is this real? Or is someone, or are these people just paranoid? Maybe they ate the wrong bread and they had hallucinogenic effects. What's going on? And it's like all these old, like 100, 200-year-old parchment paper things detailing all these people who had like each family was aligned with an animal, which is grim.
Yes.
And and each old family from Germany, they just had, they were part of this like lineage of people who banded together because they were these like were people, although they didn't like turn when the moon was full or anything, but they were kind of like were people. It was like an old European thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was someone there talking to me, and he was explaining, he said, you remember in 23andMe where it said 20% Germanic? And I said, yeah. And they said, that's us. And I was like, oh, whoa.
Oh my God, that makes a great story right there.
I know. And I was like, whoa. And he even had a name. It was like Maldive or something. I don't know. That was supposed to be the name in my lineage that gave me this power, because apparently, I'd just been waiting to wake up, and I wasn't in a real place. It was like a fantasy land. It's almost like C.S. Lewis going through the wardrobe. I went through the door and I'm in this imaginary place, but it's real in that. So I'm in the storage room with all these old artifacts, and I find parchment paper that has my mother's name and my father's name, but it uses his first name, and he went by his middle name. So that was kind of odd. But then it had me, Lola. So I see like that I belong, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm part of these people. This is me. I'm part of this. Wow.
These are my people. I have people.
I know. I was like wigging out. I'm like, oh my God, I have this weird like Germanic thing. And then it turned into like, some of them were Nazi sympathizers, some weren't. And they had all this fighting in between, like factions, and I was reading all this like in books, and I was like getting all excited, like almost like it was playing out around me. People with guns, and the I think the Nazi sympathizers were called CIs, and then there are the people who aligned themselves with the Jewish people and the non-Nazis.
Yeah.
And so, they were fighting each other, and I was kind of seeing this play out like ghost around me. That was really cool. And then the dream changed and took a turn. Then I went outside, and it turned out I was in a village. Now, this is kind of like Hogwarts, because I was in basically Diagon Valley for these people. And it was like this, street with all these shops around and everything.
Yeah.
And outside of my part of the street, I had these little like stones, like they were urns just sitting outside, decorative. And there was one person who was like the spokesman for the community. He was like the judge, the community leader for everyone, and he would decide things, And so he said, well, these urns haven't been tended to in 100 years, and they're cracked, and they need to be replaced. Now, this comes from me finding out that we need a new septic tank. So, and I said, I don't have any money. And there was a really funny moment where I was sitting down with the community leader, and we were working out what I was going to do. And right as I was going to say, I have no money, this guy who was like a PR representative, he came over and he said, whatever it costs, you'll do it. Just like that. And I said, no, I have no money. I have none, zero money, none. And so the community leader went over to the construction people who would be fixing the urns, and he came back and he said, they'll do a deal. If you cook them American food, they'll do it for free. And I said, well, I'm not much of a cook. And I said, if I cook food in my house, can I bring it out here? And they said, yeah, you can. And I said, and so I ended up like trying to backtrack to find my house through all these things. Because by this time I'd been through different rooms and different places, and I couldn't get back to my house. So I got stuck in like this sunroom. It was like this room with windows all around, and I could tell I was nowhere near my house. But there were people there. There was like a bar and stuff. And I was like, well, this is nice, but I need to get home. And then I ended up at a salon, and there were two ladies in there, and I was thinking, do I own the salon? Like, do they pay me rent? What's going on? And then they started fussing around me saying, oh, sit down, we're going to do your hair. And I said, no, I'm fine. I don't need to do hair. I need to get back to my house. So I left there, and I kept trying to get back home, but I never got back home. And then I woke up.
Sabrina would like to know how much acid you do.
It's nothing this decade or last decade.
And I have to say that your dreams sound as complicated as my adventure dreams get.
It was
like my adventure dreams are all about like saving the world and like supernatural things, and for some reason I love the Victorian era.
Mm-hmm.
So in some way, like the Victorian era always intrudes on my dreams.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is cool. Well, it's kind of like mine being from 100 years ago, or with the WW2 70, 80 years ago. So yeah, because the scroll, the like parchment paper was supposed to be from like the 1800s. So
yeah. If you don't write that down, you'll be committing a sin.
I know. I need to write it down. I need to flesh it out. I just need to make it so it's not obviously grim, not obviously Harry Potter.
But when you write it down, it doesn't matter if it sounds grim or not. Just write down everything you remember.
That's true.
Make sure you do it by like tomorrow, so you don't.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to forget it because
it's so fantastic, and right now it's so detailed.
It was so vivid. I mean, I like felt it, like it felt like I was there, like I was all tingly and I was all excited.
And thank goodness it's now recorded.
Yes, so I can remember if I forget.
Come back and watch this, and then you can get all the stuff you forgot.
Write it down and be like, I'll probably drop the part about them being like animal, related to animals, because that's very grim. That's too grim. That's just obviously grim. Yeah, I'll have to figure something out. I'll just have to make it a little different. It's hard to think of truly unique stuff. It's very rare.
Your dreams are such a great place to start.
I know, it was so vivid, and I loved the hidden room because I'm always looking for storage space. So excited. Okay, true story. Are you ready for a true story?
True story.
Our house, when I was growing up, only had one bathroom. But all my other friends' houses had two bathrooms. So I would periodically go into my mother's closet and feel around for a second bathroom. I was convinced there must be a second bathroom there that we didn't know about. I mean, I would go in my mother's
she could access.
Nobody knew it was there. It was locked up. It must have been like papered over or something. And I would go in there like every once in a while. I was convinced, and I would pat around. I was like, there must be another bathroom because all my friends have two bathrooms. We only have one.
Well, I remember in the house we had on Emily Drive.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that my parents had a very large bookcase, and they decided to cover over. It was a little nook. They pushed the bookcase up against this nook.
Okay.
And I could get into it because I could go down beneath the bookcase. I could fit beneath the bookcase.
Wow.
I'm into this place. So it was like my secret
hidey
place.
hole. Yeah.
And I always thought in my head, when I went in there, I was invisible. Nobody knew I existed when I went in there.
Don't you love that? I love that.
And it even, because they had put the bookcase there when they moved in, it smelled different.
I bet it smelled good.
It smelled like there was this perfume that had soaked into the walls.
Oh, how nice.
And I can still smell it to this day.
I
can
bet.
remember what the smell was. So I literally thought I had a superpower.
You did. You were invisible. No one knew where you were. No one in the world knew where you were.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
Oh. This is
That is so
fantastic. Yeah, you totally need to write that down. I would
I will.
love to read that. Even just, even just your notes. I would love to read
Hmm.
just your notes on it. Be great.
And I was trying to work out, to make it seem at least a little logical because in real life, I've lived here for almost 5 years. I bought the house. I
Yeah,
have the what do you call it? The printout of the house, the map, whatever you
title.
call it. Yeah, but the architect drawing,
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
whatever
The
I'm trying to think of.
diagram, yeah.
Yeah, I have that. I know there isn't a hidden room. I know that. I've gone around this house hundreds of times. I know that. So like I'm trying to work out logically how this could happen, and I guess it has to be magic.
It has to be magic. It has to be supernatural. There is some
It
place
just
in your house that is supernatural.
it's a portal to Diagon Alley.
Portal
Yeah,
to another
to
place.
another world. It's not Diagon Alley. It's hidden rooms, rooms that lead to
Yeah.
rooms, and you
Just
know.
remember, when you Lola character finds it,
Uh-huh.
you're gonna have to like be really shocked.
Well, I was shocked in my dream.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
happy when I found the first room because I thought storage space,
Storage space. Yeah.
because it was empty.
Storage space nobody else can use.
Right, it was all for me. It
Who
was my
doesn't
stuff.
want that?
It was a full. I mean, it was probably like I would say 8 feet by 8 feet, something like that. Like it wouldn't be big enough to really make a bedroom,
Yeah.
but it would be great for just storage. And I was like, it's mine.
Can
I
you
was
imagine
happy.
how much makeup you could put in there?
And all my boxes of stuff and bins full of stuff and just all that stuff that I don't really have room for. Yeah, I could put a vanity in there that could be my makeup room.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if it had an electrical outlet because in my dream I wasn't thinking that. Actually, I don't think it had an electrical outlet. It was very dusty and there weren't. So I don't think there were any lights in it. It just somehow it managed to have natural light. It had the one door. So it has some natural light, but I don't think it had any fixtures because it was previously unknown. And I think that wasn't quite as fantasy as the other rooms. That was like a doorway in between the real world and this
the
imaginary
fantasy world. Yeah.
the fantasy world. So it was
the
almost
skill
more
is
real.
So awesome.
It was cool. And then when I opened the door and it was just a drop, I mean, my heart, and I felt like I was moving forward. I mean, I felt like I was doing this, and I was like trying to hang on to this one little wisp of a latch, and it wasn't working. I mean, it was just a screen door that could easily break off, and I was so terrified, and it was like, and I couldn't get my balance up to go back, and it was, oh my god, it was so scary. But then I finally got back, and I was so relieved. I was like, just my heart. I was like, where did that come from? I didn't drink any coffee. I don't think I ate anything weird last night. I don't know where that came from.
Well, your poor little kitty is very unimpressed.
She is asleep. She hasn't been taking her medicine. She was prescribed Prozac, and she won't. I put it in wet cat food, and she just turns her nose up to it. So I don't know what to do.
Fish? Have you tried fish balls? You realize you can make fish balls.
Well, I have some frozen fish in there. How do you make fish balls?
Okay, so is the medication like a solid pill or is it? Like
it's liquid.
Oh, it's liquid. Yeah. Just take a bit. Just take a bit of fish.
Yeah.
And dribble the medicine on it.
Okay.
And just literally roll it into a little ball. And give it to her.
So do you just bake the fish?
You don't have to cook it for her. You can take a frozen fillet. If
raw
you take
fish?
For cats, yes. If you take a frozen fillet, it's perfectly safe.
Okay.
The frozen fillet, cut a bit off, let it thaw, and either chop it up in a food processor or just chop it up with a knife and just roll it in your hand and
Okay.
drop the medicine in it and roll it
Uh-huh.
up in your hand. And usually the fish will overcome the
You're
smell of the
right. The
medication.
fish smell would probably overcome the smell of the
Yeah.
medicine. You've got a great point. That might be pungent enough where she'll want to eat it and not smell the medicine.
You might also be able to do, actually, I don't know if you have a Petco or something around you.
Yeah.
They usually have dried fish, like little like dried anchovies.
Yeah. Okay.
Try dropping it on that and then giving her a dried
Okay. She
anchovy.
might eat that.
She might eat that too.
Okay. That's a good thought. I
Yeah.
might do that. Okay. Yeah, because I'm getting frustrated because it's been a few weeks since she's
Oh yeah.
eaten it. And I don't, I mean, I know what it's like for me, my anxiety medicine, if I don't take it for 3 days, I start to have weird nightmares. Much worse than what I had last night. I mean, scary
Yeah.
nightmares.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, I start to be really weird, and I don't want my cat bugging out.
Well, don't forget that if she doesn't take her medication, she might find your secret room and follow you into the dream, and that would be really
I
bad.
don't want that. I want
No,
that's for me.
because
That's
cats are
beautiful.
insipidly supernatural. They can find no
Well,
secret
I forgot
places.
there were cats when I was in the community area with all the
Yeah.
shops and stuff. I saw a room that had a bunch of cats, and because okay, you know the
Oh, that is
lady.
totally because you have cats.
Well, it's also because you know the lady who I like to visit who has the
Yeah.
dogs like this. She
Yeah.
got a baby kitten,
Oh,
baby,
sweet
like
baby
her
kitties.
baby kitten, like she shouldn't be away
Little
from her
fuzz
mother.
balls.
She's a fuzzball, and she just goes.
Yeah. The teeniest little noise.
"Meow, meow." And she's always looking for something, and she can barely like focus her eyes. She's like, "Meow, meow." So in my dream, when I saw those cats, I was like, oh, I can totally take one more
Yeah.
cat. So I was like, I want her cat.
They will work out. What's one more?
What's one more? I mean, there was a room full of cats playing, so what's one more?
Yeah, I know.
So that's my way of saying I want another cat. I want a baby kitty. Yes, I thought about pill pockets. I might try that. My
Oh, that
other
works.
cats never liked them too much.
Well, I think we've actually come to the end of our discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my goodness,
What?
we screwed up.
What? How was
We
we
didn't
screwed up?
we didn't pick a humble bundle this week.
Oh, I did. I bought it.
Did
It's a
you?
comic book. Yes.
Oh,
They-
tell us
oh,
about it.
I
Tell us
bought
about
it.
it,
And I
then
used
I'll
our very good link.
yeah. If you
Yeah.
put the link into the show notes, and I'll be sure to put it out on Twitter
Now let me
and
see
tell
how.
us about
Oh,
it.
here it is. It brought the link up for me. Look at that. Look at that. All right, I'm gonna put it in our our doc. At least I'm trying. It's not. I have at least two Googles that I use frequently, and so I always forget which one that I have permission for. All right, hold on.
I see anonymous. I see anonymous hippo.
I'm anonymous hippo.
Although
So,
you don't resemble a hippo.
oh, there it is.
There we
There
go.
it is. Okay, so that's it, and I'll put it in our Twitch.
And I will get this link out to Twitter right
Yay.
now, and Lola's going to tell you all about it.
And if you want, can we screen share?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me see if I'm logged in. Oh, I'm logged in. Let me
Yeah.
find.
Well, he's just putting the producer's putting you on full screen right now.
Okay, good. All right, so
Go ahead.
purchase.
There is on the lower left of your screen is the share your screen button.
Oh, okay. So I need to share my screen. Oh no, that's raise my hand. Where's share my screen?
To the
share
left
your
of it.
screen. Okay. So I hate doing my entire screen because it does that thing. But okay, Chrome tab,
Yes.
Humble Bundle. This should work. Is this working?
It is working. It is exactly working. Go ahead.
Okay. I spend so much money at this place, which I got paid yesterday, but I still should be spending money. Humble Comics Bundle Dynamite's 15th anniversary party. So $18. I did the max, the top one where you can get everything.
Mm-hmm.
Battlestar Galactica Twilight Command #1. Crackdown. I've never heard of that. Elvira #1.
Well, it's still showing your purchase products, not the actual Humble Bundle.
But I switched. Oh, hold on. I might have to go back. Hold on. Let's see what's happening. Chrome tab. All right, let's try this again. Tell me what you see.
I see it.
Okay.
Well, I see everything that you have available to download. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the whole thing. $18 got all of this. So BSG, never heard of Crackdown.
Now, are these actual comics?
Yeah, these are digital comics that I can get the PDF, the EPUB, or the CBZ version, which I like. I think it's a CBZ that works in Amazon. The only thing is, what I do is when I'm on my Kindle, I go to the Humble Bundle website and I download it, and it doesn't come up in my Amazon books. I had to actually go to my files and open it. That's a bit of a pain, but it still works really well. I can still do pane by pane. So got Game of Thrones 1 to 3, The Librarians, which is a show I love. Got #1. Lone Ranger, Nancy Drew.
Wheel of Time. I did not even know the Wheel of Time had a comic.
Me neither, but apparently they do. I got, I'm not sure. They seem to have the same name, but they're different covers. So got quite a few.
It's Eye of the World, but it's different sections of Eye of the World.
Oh, okay. Was that like I guess maybe it's all together, it makes the whole series or something? I don't know.
It's probably from different books of Eye of the World.
Okay. Well, hopefully it makes a cohesive story. I don't know. We got Sherlock Holmes, $60 Million Man. Haven't heard of Obey Me. Haven't heard of Turok. Haven't heard of that. Barbarella, that's an
Barbarella.
Old yeah, that's from the 60s. That's Jane Fonda.
Ooh, Xena.
Xena from 2019. Betty Page, Bob's Burgers. Never heard of that. Charm.
You've never heard of Bob's Burgers? Okay, so Bob's Burgers is an extremely popular cartoon.
Okay. I think I've heard of it. I don't really remember.
It's very modern funny.
Okay. Cool. All right. And haven't heard of Chaos Highway to Hell. Haven't heard of Evil Ernie. Jeepers Creepers. Kiss, I guess like the band Kiss. I don't know.
Blood and Stardust. That actually sounds like it's the actual comic Blood and Stardust.
Oh, maybe. I've never heard of that.
That'd be cool.
But it looks like, look at the Kiss. It looks like
it looks like the band's comic that came out very early.
Okay. Interesting. A steampunk adventure. Haven't heard of Pierce Brown.
Oh, Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, versus the Bionic Woman.
Now, Kiss Army of Darkness, I have read that one. Okay. That is a fantastic comic.
Yeah. Army of Darkness, I guess that's like Bruce Campbell. I don't know. Like Evil Dead? An omnibus for Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
That's 1.4 gigabytes. Bionic Man omnibus. All this for $18. And it goes to charity, or at least part of it does. And it helps us if you use our link, the Beery Good G link.
That is true.
Look at all this. I mean, I'm not even done. Red Sonja, The Boys, which I already have The Boys from another Humble Bundle.
Wow, you have like comics for like months.
I do. I really do. I've got so much. All thanks to John Wick. All thanks to Humble Bundle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. They just do great
Dynamite
stuff. I'm still
Entertainment.
going.
Thank you, Dynamite Entertainment,
Yeah.
for putting this together. This is
Oh, it's the
fantastic.
art from the boys' comics. So the art, the dynamite art of Alex Ross. I'm still going. Jose Gonzalez's Vampirilla, 10 frames per second. I've never heard of that. So all that for $18. I know I sound like QVC Network. All this for 18
All of
bucks.
this for 18.
Look at this, Linda. Did I show you Uncanny Volume 1? Look, you not only get White Sand, you get Bob's Burgers Volume 1. You get it in PDF, EPUB.
Actually, Betty Page is that's one of those pinup comic novels that's I'd be more interested in Xena Warrior Princess though. And that's a 2019, so that's something I have never read.
Yeah, so I guess these are new. Either that or new versions. Oh yeah, Ash Williams. The Army of Darkness is Ash Williams. Painkiller Jane is in here somewhere. So it's just really
$18
cool.
is pretty good. And
Yeah.
of course, if you buy this Humble Bundle with our link, you will be helping to support Very Good Entertainment and pay a little of our monthly dues
Our
to
overhead.
SoundCloud and for you know for
Yeah.
space on the website and things like that. It is not paying our salaries for which
We have
do
no
not,
salaries
we have no salary. We do this out of the goodness of our heart because we
it's
love
fun.
you.
Yeah, and it's fun, and it's our chance to vent.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I'm going to stop screen sharing now.
Okay.
I'm reading Watchmen. I got it from Amazon. Had it on sale because the Watchmen TV series started, so it was $4.99 for the entire series. Plus, they have a prequel that I got also. So I've been reading that. I think I read it a long time ago. Maybe not all of it, but parts of it. But I don't remember. So I'm reading it again, and there's a pane that says, "These Saturday beer sessions really keep me going." Because they're all hanging out drinking beer, and I'm like, that just reminded me of all of us in our Saturday beer session.
Yeah.
They really keep me going.
How awesome.
I was like, that's cool.
That's cool. Ah, and with that, we have come to the end.
Yeah, it's probably time. I need to start getting ready for bed. We're supposed to get up early in the morning. We'll see how it goes.
Well, I hope you have a wonderful Sunday.
Thank you.
And thank you all for coming to visit us. Thank you so much, Jason, for subscribing to the channel. We really appreciate your following us. And if you'd like to find Lola, you can find Lola at
Lola Lariscy on Twitter. LOLALARISCY. Nice one.
And you can find me at L Tepler on Twitter. You can also find me at Sorceress Zero, but I'm not using that as much these days. I'm concentrating on at L Tepler. You can also find at Beery GE. You can find us on Twitter and on MeWe.
Woo, yeah.
Hit us up at any time. We're happy to talk to you about beer, about politics, about British entertainment. We're pretty much happy to talk to you.
Unless you're a troll. In that case, we'll just be annoyed. Yeah. We'll just be like,
we are
shut
definitely happy to talk to genuine people.
Yes. Who honestly want to discuss things with us.
Well, guys, it's been a great Saturday and a great podcast. We hope that you guys have an absolutely fantastic evening, and we hope that you have a really fantastic beer.
Thank you.
Have a great night. Bye.
Mine's empty. Are we done?